Chapter 9:17. Huang Fu-Su is dead. A cultivator from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty checked Huang Fu-Su's condition, and his expression changed drastically. Huang Fu-Su's status was extremely noble, and he was very talented. Therefore, Huang Fu-Su was highly valued in the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. But now, he had died tragically. The cultivators from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were filled with killing intent. Killing 2 people from my Yuhua Immortal Dynasty in a row. How many years has it been since something like this happened? A cold voice sounded. Next, a young prince walked out from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's side. This young prince was tall and slender, and he had a noble temperament. He was wearing a 4-clawed dragon robe. This 4-clawed dragon robe was usually worn by the princes. Lin Feng said indifferently, "I didn't expect that there would be a prince from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Which prince are you?" "5th prince. Huang Fu Qingming." "What a good 5th prince. Today, I will kill you and let the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty lose a prince first." Lin Feng was domineering. He directly stepped forward, wanting to kill Huang Fu Qingming. The cultivators from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's expression changed drastically. If Huang Fu Qingming was killed, then all of them would be blamed for not protecting the prince. Huang Fu Qingming sneered and said, "You want to kill me? You are still far from being able to do so." As his voice fell, a tyrannical aura spread out from Huang Fu Qingming's body. One could vaguely feel that Huang Fu Qingming's magic power was much stronger than Lin Feng's magic power. Huang Fu Qingming should be at the 6th heavenly layer of the creation realm. He should have at least 243 strands of the power of laws. "Whether or not I can kill you, I will only know after I try." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he walked towards Huang Fu Qingming step by step. "Die, brat." Immediately, more than a dozen cultivators from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty rushed towards Lin Feng. One by one, they circulated the power of laws and attacked Lin Feng. These people were all experts of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty who had refined the laws before. They scattered and attacked Lin Feng from all directions, causing Lin Feng to be distracted. However, these people underestimated Lin Feng too much. Facing their attacks, Lin Feng directly used the confinement magnetic field. More than 10 experts of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were imprisoned, unable to move. Next, Lin Feng swung his right hand, and a sword beam shot out. Puff, puff, puff. The experts of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were directly torn apart by the sword energy, dying tragically on the spot. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen experts were instantly killed by Lin Feng. Seeing this scene, the eyes of the other experts of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty almost split apart. "Kid, who exactly are you?" Huang Fu Qingming looked at Lin Feng gloomily. "Naturally, I'm the one who will kill you," Lin Feng sneered. He instantly appeared in front of Huang Fu Qingming and used the Supreme Reincarnation Fist to attack Huang Fu Qingming. White Sun Soaring Technique. At this moment, Huang Fu Qingming suddenly shouted coldly. He used the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's ultimate technique. The White Sun Soaring Technique was an ancient divine ability recorded in the White Sun Soaring Sutra. Immortal light surged out from Huang Fu Qingming's body. Then, Huang Fu Qingming soared into the sky. He was like a god and a demon. He was like an immortal and a saint. Between heaven and earth, only that immortal light seemed to be left. Huang Fu Qingming turned into an immortal light and swept towards Lin Feng. Bang! The two sides collided. The earth shook and the mountains shook. It was like 2 falling stars colliding in the starry sky world. This collision was extremely violent. With the 2 of them as the center, tornado-like energy ripples spread out. In the center of the storm, there were even storm dragons, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws, roaring towards the sky. After the collision, the 2 quickly retreated. The White Sun Soaring Sutra of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty is indeed worthy of its reputation. It's rumored that there are many ultimate techniques recorded in the White Sun Soaring Sutra, and this White Sun Soaring technique should be one of them. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. The Supreme Reincarnation Fist he had invented was based on the Tao of the 9 Heavens Supreme. It had absorbed the essence of the 5 Emperor Dragon Fists, the Sky Shrouding Hand, the Ancient Dragon Elephant Art, the Imperious Lightning Art, and other powerful moves. Although it was only the embryonic form of an emperor technique, its power was far greater than ordinary ancient divine abilities. But his attack was blocked by Huangfu Qingming's White Sun Soaring technique. This showed how powerful the White Sun Soaring technique was. It was probably one of the top divine abilities among the ancient divine abilities. This kid's combat power is far higher than his realm. Let's attack together and kill him, Huangfu Qingming said in a deep voice. They still had hundreds of experts on their side. Moreover, there were 5 Creation Realm cultivators. Huangfu Qingming was convinced that Lin Feng was going to die under their attacks. That's right. Let's kill him together. Everyone from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty shouted sternly. Each of them had a ferocious expression on their faces. In the outside world, they were the high and mighty geniuses of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Any one of them was admired by others. But at that moment, so many of them had been killed by Lin Feng alone. They were terrified. Everyone felt incomparably sullen. Perhaps in their lives, they had never encountered something that made them feel so humiliated. Now, these people only wanted to kill Lin Feng. They wanted to wash away the pressure and humiliation that Lin Feng brought to them. White Sun Soaring Technique, Flying Immortal Fist, Dragon's Roar, Divine Fist of Destruction, God-Destroying Immortal Palm. All kinds of powerful divine abilities were used by the cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Hundreds of cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty used their divine abilities together. All the divine abilities gathered together, forming a torrent of attacks that drowned out Lin Feng. These cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty believed that their attacks would be fatal. Even if they were at the 7th or 8th level of the Creation Realm, they wouldn't be able to resist their attacks. They would be killed. Today, I will let you have a taste of the supreme divine ability that I have just cultivated. Facing the attacks of hundreds of cultivators, Lin Feng didn't care at all. Not only did he not retreat, but he also stepped forward. Great Death Technique. Lin Feng flipped his hand and summoned clouds and rain. The Great Death Technique, which was comparable to an Emperor technique, was executed. Suddenly, a river appeared in the sky. It was a long river of death. The long river of death fell from the sky and smashed towards the hundreds of cultivators. Crack! Lin Feng fought against hundreds of cultivators alone. His Great Death Technique directly destroyed the torrent of attacks that hundreds of cultivators had launched together. Then, the long river of death bombarded the hundreds of cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Bang! The cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were all blasted away. The weaker ones' bodies directly exploded, and they died tragically on the spot. The stronger ones also vomited mouthfuls of blood from the impact. Lin Feng's Great Death Technique, which was comparable to an Emperor technique, was too tyrannical. Destroy them all, Lin Feng sneered. His big hand covered the sky and attacked the cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. No! Many people shouted in fear. Facing death, these top geniuses of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty couldn't suppress the fear in their hearts. These cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were about to die in Lin Feng's hands. But at this moment, a sudden change occurred. Brat, you are courting death. Boom! Behind Lin Feng, an old man stepped out of the void and attacked Lin Feng with his palm. The old man's aura was too terrifying. He was like a god, as majestic as a mountain. The old ancestor has made his move. That brat is dead for sure. Seeing the old man attacking Lin Feng, the cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, who were originally in despair, became excited. An ancient overlord. Sensing the terrifying aura behind him, Lin Feng's face was filled with shock. An ancient overlord. An expert in the life and death realm. Chapter 9:18. It's over. I'm dead for sure. Lin Feng's face was extremely pale. This was an attack from an ancient powerhouse. This attack could instantly turn his body into ashes. He wouldn't even have a chance to recover from his injuries. The shadow of death shrouded his entire body. Lin Feng's heart was filled with waves of despair. The terrifying attack was about to land on Lin Feng's body. Suddenly, a light flashed in the beast's slave pouch. Swoosh! An egg flew out and landed in front of Lin Feng, blocking his path. It was the mysterious beast egg that Lin Feng had obtained. Don't bully Bibi's big brother. A childish voice came from the beast egg. Although the little guy hadn't hatched yet, it was extremely intelligent. Its spiritual intelligence had long been activated. Moreover, when it almost hatched the last time, the little guy was already able to wake up from its deep slumber anytime. Sometimes, the little guy would also come out to play. After it was tired of playing, Lin Feng would take out many precious herbs for the little guy to eat. It turned out that most of the spiritual herbs and spiritual fruits that Lin Feng had collected were eaten by the little guy. The little guy and Lin Feng were naturally very close. Now that the little guy sensed that Lin Feng was in danger, it took the initiative to fly out. Then, it blocked in front of Lin Feng. The palm that was originally aimed at Lin Feng fiercely hit the beast egg. Lin Feng's eyes were about to pop out. He and Bibi had already developed a very deep relationship. Now that Bibi had suffered such a terrifying attack, wouldn't she die without a doubt? Bang! Accompanied by a dull sound of collision, the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's ancient powerhouse's attack landed on the beast egg. What surprised Lin Feng was that the beast egg didn't shatter after receiving this attack. This beast egg was a little too sturdy. Lin Feng took advantage of this rare opportunity and sent the Yuhua Celestial Dynasty's leader flying with a punch. Then, he hugged the beast egg and flew into the distance. Bibi, are you okay? Don't scare me, Lin Feng said with heartache. Bibi's weak voice came from the egg, saying, Bibi is very tired. Bibi wants to sleep. Hearing Bibi's voice, Lin Feng was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. However, his heart was immediately filled with killing intent. Bebe must have suffered some injuries, which was why he decided to sleep to recover. At this moment, Lin Feng swore to himself that as long as his cultivation base increased, he would definitely go and kill that old bastard from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. To be old and not die is to be a thief. As an existence at the level of an ancient giant, he actually dared to attack a junior. This was completely shameless. Little dog, where are you going? The face of the ancient powerhouse from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty was extremely gloomy. As an ancient powerhouse, he was actually sent flying by a cultivator who was like an ant in his eyes. This was simply a great humiliation. This ancient giant was almost angered to death. He roared and chased after Lin Feng. You old bastard, just you wait. Sooner or later, I'll take your head, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng turned his head and glared at the ancient powerhouse from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Then, he took out his golden wings. Under the control of the golden wings, his speed was as fast as lightning. Even the ancient powerhouse couldn't catch up to Lin Feng. Lin Feng crazily ran towards the depths of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. After 3 days, he finally got rid of the ancient powerhouse from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Lin Feng stopped in a mountain range. There was a stone tablet outside the mountain range. There were 5 words written on the tablet. Pagoda suppresses the river demons. Seeing these words, Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. He couldn't help but mutter, who left this tablet here? It seems like there are a few words missing. Asterisk swish, swish, swish. Asterisk Lin Feng used his finger as a knife and wrote a few more words in a row. These 5 words were, Heavenly King covers the Earth Tiger. Together, it was, Heavenly King covers the Earth Tiger. Pagoda suppresses the river demon. Lin Feng seemed to be very satisfied with his masterpiece. He couldn't help but smile. He then walked towards the depths of the mountain range. This mountain range was extremely huge, stretching for hundreds of miles. If one were to look down from the sky, they would be able to see that this mountain range was like a huge dragon that resided on the ground. The mountain ridge was like the body of the huge dragon that coiled around, vigorous and powerful. Lin Feng found a huge cave in the mountain range. This cave was very dry. He blocked the entrance of the cave, and then used a few formations to hide the aura of this place. After that, Lin Feng started recuperating in the cave. The continuous battles made Lin Feng feel extremely tired. Lin Feng adjusted his state to its peak. Then, he refined the 243 nomological laws that he obtained from killing the black dragon. The number of nomological laws in Lin Feng's body reached 424 nomological laws. I wonder what's the situation outside? Now that the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's ancient powerhouses have appeared, should I stay or leave? Lin Feng was a little hesitant. If he stayed, he might be able to obtain more opportunities. If he left, the opportunities would belong to the cultivators of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. However, after hesitating for a moment, Lin Feng decided to leave the demon realm. After all, he had obtained so many benefits in the demon realm. Now that the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's ancient powerhouses had entered, there was no need to continue taking risks. With that thought, Lin Feng took out 9 turtle shells. He wanted to use the 9 turtle shells to form a teleportation gate and teleport himself out. However, at that moment, a loud rumble sounded. Lin Feng looked over and saw that a large number of rocks in the depths of the cave had collapsed, revealing a deep passage. He didn't know where it led to. Lin Feng was surprised. Why would a passage appear here? He carefully walked into the passage. Dong, dong, dong. Only Lin Feng's footsteps could be heard in the deep passage. After walking for about half an hour, Lin Feng seemed to have arrived at the center of the mountain. He entered a huge mountain. Then, Lin Feng saw that there was actually a huge stone tower in the mountain. The stone tower had a total of 9 floors. The stone tower was densely covered with runes. Those runes were too complicated. Even though Lin Feng was a Heaven Stage Spirit Array Master, he felt like his head was about to split open when he glanced at the runes. It was incomparably painful. He quickly retracted his gaze and felt a little better. The appearance of a 1,000-meter-tall stone tower filled Lin Feng with doubts and confusion. He was guessing the origin of this stone tower. Boom! At that moment, the stone tower shook violently. There seemed to be a terrifying existence suppressed under the stone tower. And now, the terrifying existence suppressed under the stone tower wanted to overturn the stone tower. Run! Lin Feng didn't even think as he frantically fled outside. He thought of the stone tablet he saw at the entrance of the mountain range. Pagoda suppressing a river demon. Could it be referring to this stone tower in front of him? A river demon was suppressed under the stone tower? If that was really the case, then it was too terrifying. Because this was a secret realm that had existed since the immemorial era. Didn't that mean that the river demon suppressed here was also a powerhouse from the immemorial era? Thinking of this, Lin Feng felt his hair stand on end. How could he dare to stay? Human flesh, I want to eat. But at that moment, the stone tower was pushed open by a crack. A sinister voice came from under the stone tower. Then, a terrifying suction force surged out and instantly enveloped Lin Feng. Lin Feng's body couldn't be controlled at all, and he quickly flew toward the stone tower. Lin Feng felt an extremely terrifying force bombarding his body. Chapter 919. Life and Death. Just at this moment, Lin Feng felt his life slipping away. He couldn't resist, and his heart was filled with terror. Just as his body was about to crumble and be devoured by the river demon below the pagoda, the 9 pieces of tortoiseshell in Lin Feng's hands suddenly emitted a shocking wave of energy. The Black Tortoise God. Suddenly, a roar came from below the pagoda. The terrifying power that had enveloped Lin Feng and wanted to destroy Lin Feng's body instantly dissipated. Lin Feng fell to the ground, but the 9 pieces of tortoiseshell in his hands floated in the air. The 9 pieces of tortoiseshell emitted 9 rays of light that gathered together to form an ancient image. A mysterious world appeared in the image. There was a long river in that world. That river ran through heaven and earth, connecting the heavenly river and the underworld river. It was called the Heavenspan River. It was called the Undying World, the first river. Thump, thump, thump. War drums beat, and an endless number of celestial soldiers and generals descended from the sky. Demonic chi surged within the Heavenspan River. An old man appeared, leading the demonic beasts of the Heavenspan River. Black Tortoise God, the Heavenspan River demons have already been executed. If you don't surrender, you can still live. If you dare to resist, only death will await you. A cold voice came from the Heavenly Court's army, filled with boundless killing intent that seemed capable of destroying the world. Next, a celestial general clad in sacred golden armor appeared and looked coldly at the Black Tortoise God. The Black Tortoise God howled in grief. Our young master has been awake for 128,000 years. He experienced the 3 calamities and 9 tribulations and achieved enlightenment. The demons of the Heavenspan River elected him as the sacred master, and he ruled over 800 million kilometers of the Heavenspan River. Under the young master's control, the demons of the Heavenspan River have never harmed the common people. Instead, they occasionally perform miracles and benefit the world. Why do you want to kill our young master? Where is the heavenly justice? Ha ha ha, the heavenly justice? The heavenly court is the heavens. The celestial general laughed coldly. The heavenly court is the heavens? Now I finally understand why Senior Sacred Battle Ape resisted the heavenly court. The black tortoise god's voice was cold. Senior Sacred Battle Ape? How dare you call a peerless cultivator senior? You monsters should all die. The heavenly general had a cold gaze. I think the greatest evil in this world is your heavenly court. Black Tortoise High God's voice was cold. How stubborn. Slaughter all the demonic beasts in the Heavenspan River. Don't leave a single one alive. General Tion gave the order. The order they had received was to kill all living beings within the 800 million kilometers of the Heavenspan River. As for the so-called enlistment, it was just a pretense. In this world, how many people were massacred after being recruited or surrendered? Preserve the flame. Preserve hope. The Black Tortoise God said. He had sent some of the talented disciples of the Heavenspan River's demon race away, so that they wouldn't be completely wiped out. The battle was exceptionally fierce. High God Black Tortoise personally led the Heavenspan River's monster race against the Heavenly Court's army. The sky was dyed red by demonic blood. The ground was dyed red by demon blood. Even the entire Heavenspan River was dyed blood red. Countless demonic beasts were wiped out. High God Black Tortoise howled in grief. If there is a next life, I am willing to serve you for the rest of my life. If there is a next life, I hope to overturn the heavenly court so that there will be no more slaughter. High God Black Tortoise charged into a large group of heavenly generals and self-detonated. Before he died, he took a large number of people with him to the grave. All the images vanished like smoke in thin air. Lin Feng sat on the ground, unable to believe it. 800 million kilometers of the Heavenspan River. It wasn't just the Milky Way. Only a very small number had managed to escape. They had all been killed. How many people had died? Just how much slaughter was this? Even if everyone on the Tianwu continent was killed, there probably wouldn't be even 1 in 10,000 people in the entire Heavenspan River. Woo! The sound of someone crying could be heard from below the pagoda. Old Celestial Emperor, have you ever thought that I'm still alive? The being roared, his killing intent soaring. Even if you suppressed me for 100 million years, even if you destroyed my body, even if you destroyed my soul, my will is immortal. He roared furiously, his killing intent soaring to the heavens. The hatred in his heart couldn't be washed away. At the same time, outside the mountains, Lu Mingyan, Luo Shengtian, and the others were flying in that direction. We've already searched many places, but we still haven't found the pagoda. Is it possible that the Heavenspan Great Beast is just a legend? Luo Shengtian frowned. No, it's definitely not as simple as a legend. Lu Mingyan's eyes were gloomy. She paused for a moment, then said, You should know that eldest senior brother's secret land of heaven is related to Celestial Emperor. Celestial Emperor is rumored to be the ruler of the undying world. You probably don't know about this. What is it? Luo Shengtian and the others were curious. I once followed eldest senior brother into a mysterious cave in the secret land of heaven. There was a statue of Celestial Emperor in that cave, and it actually manifested a spirit. Lu Mingyan still couldn't believe what she was saying. What? Celestial Emperor's statue manifested a spirit? This time, everyone was astonished. They couldn't believe it. Lu Mingyan took a deep breath and said, Indeed, Celestial Emperor's statue manifested a spirit and spoke in human language. Even though I wasn't qualified to be there, eldest senior brother quickly told me what Celestial Emperor had told him. It was about the heavens disaster and the Heavenspan Great Beast. After a short pause, Lu Mingyan continued, Inside the heavens tribulation demon territory, there's a peerless great demon. This great demon is called the omnipotent great demon. You might not know his origin, but if I tell you, you'll be scared to death. This omnipotent great demon is the ruler of the immortal world's omnipotent river. His cultivation is unfathomable, and such a powerful existence is feared by the celestial court. Therefore, the celestial emperor led 36 great emperors to build the subduing great demon tower, and together, they attacked the omnipotent great demon tower and suppressed him inside the heavens tribulation demon territory. Is it wrong to be too strong? Asked the cultivator. Lu Mingyan said with a faint look in her eyes, that's right. Sometimes, being too strong is a mistake. How did the sacred battle ape die? Because he was too strong. The emperors of the heavenly court and the Buddhas of the Buddhist world felt threatened. Therefore, the emperors of the heavenly court and the 7 ancient Buddhas of the Buddhist world joined forces to kill the battle saint ape. The omnipotent great beast showed a trace of the battle saint ape's shadow, so the heavenly emperor couldn't let the omnipotent great beast grow to the battle saint ape's level. Luo Shengtian asked, so many years have passed, the great beast should have died long ago, right? Lu Mingyan said, the celestial emperor told eldest senior brother that the omnipotent great demon's resentment was too great, and that its remnant soul hadn't died yet. In another 100 years, the omnipotent great demon's remnant soul would also be obliterated. However, the celestial emperor suddenly discovered that there was a ripple in the omnipotent great demon's river of fate. An extra ripple in the river of fate? What does that mean? Luo Shengtian frowned. Someone will appear in the fate of the Zhantian beast. Maybe it's just a ripple, it won't change anything. After 100 years, the Zhantian beast's soul will be completely destroyed. But that ripple can also change the life of the Zhantian beast and bring him back to life. Therefore, Tian Didi sent him to activate the Zhantian tower and destroy the soul of the Zhantian beast. Tian Didi is in a life and death situation right now. He can't leave. Therefore, he gave us this important task. After the task is done, we can all go to the secret area of the firmament to practice cultivation and obtain incredible opportunities to improve our cultivation. Luo Shengtian was delighted. Luo Shengtian and the others were overjoyed. Among them, only Luo Shengtian had cultivated there for a year. During that year, Luo Shengtian had broken through to the creation realm. The others were naturally looking forward to entering the mystery land of ether. Even Luo Shengtian's eyes were shining. He couldn't wait to enter the mystery land of ether again. Junior sister, look, there's another mountain range. Luo Shengtian pointed into the distance. That mountain range looked like a dragon crawling on the ground. It was the mountain range where the great beast was sealed. Lu Mingyan said, let's go and see if this omnipotent great demon is being suppressed in this mountain range. If it is, it's time for him to die. How do we kill it? Asked Luo Shengtian suspiciously. Eldest senior brother gave it a celestial emperor talisman. If we activate it, we can kill the great beast. Chapter 920. Senior, are you all right? Lin Feng asked softly. He couldn't leave even if he wanted to, so he decided to stay. Instead, he asked the mysterious being suppressed by the Yao Ceiling Pagoda. Lin Feng guessed that this was the omnipotent greater demon, the ruler of the Skyfall River. The pagoda suppressing the river. It was easy to understand. It looks like the Black Turtle God used the innate 8 trigrams divination technique before he died. When he realized that I wasn't dead, he imprinted a Tao diagram on the broken turtle shell, and this kid obtained the turtle shell. Perhaps it was fate that brought him here to save me from danger? The omnipotent greater demon muttered to himself. He then transmitted to Lin Feng, saying, Kid, since you came here with the Black Turtle God's turtle shell, you must be destined to be the one to break the Yao Ceiling Pagoda's seal. Are you willing to help me break the seal and release me? Lin Feng thought to himself, would I dare to say no? If I did, I might be killed. Lin Feng hurriedly said, it would be my honor to be able to help Senior. Good. I wasn't wrong about you. The omnipotent greater demon said Lin Feng. It's just that my cultivation level is low. How can I help you? That's simple. At the peak of the mountain, there's a talisman on the cliff. It has the words Celestial Emperor's Talisman written on it. The Celestial Emperor's talisman was created by the Celestial Emperor and 36 other emperors during the Primordial Era. It was created specifically to suppress me. So long as you take it off, I'll be able to break the Yao Sealing Pagoda's seal. The omnipotent Greater Demon said. All right, I'll go now, Lin Feng said. When Lin Feng finished talking, he started flying away. The Heavenly King suppresses the Earth Tiger, and the pagoda suppresses the river monster? Lu Mingyan looked at the stone tablet and frowned. Luo Shengtian asked, Is there something wrong? According to what eldest senior brother said, there is a stone tablet in the mountain range that suppresses the omnipotent great demon. On it are the words pagoda suppresses the river demon, but there are no words Heavenly King suppresses the Earth Tiger. Eldest senior brother shouldn't have made a mistake. Could it be that we are in the wrong place? Whatever, let's go in and take a look, Lu Mingyan said. Then, the group of people entered the mountain range to search. Junior sister, look, there seems to be a golden talisman on the cliff. Luo Shangtian pointed at a 10,000-meter tall mountain in the distance. A talisman was pasted on one of the cliffs of the mountain. The Celestial Emperor's Decree. That's right, this is the place. Lu Mingyan revealed a look of joy. Then, a group of people quickly flew over. They stopped in the void and carefully observed the Celestial Emperor's Decree. The Celestial Emperor's Decree was covered in mysterious runes. These runes were ancient, mysterious, and contained an ancient aura. What should we do next? Luo Shengtian asked. Whoosh. Lu Mingyan waved her right hand, and a light flashed. A jade talisman appeared in Lu Mingyan's right hand. This is the Celestial Emperor's talisman. The Celestial Emperor's talisman emitted a shocking wave that shook the void. Lu Mingyan said, The Celestial Emperor's talisman was created together with the Celestial Emperor's decree. There are a total of 12 Celestial Emperor's talismans in this world. As long as you activate the Celestial Emperor's talisman, you can communicate with the Celestial Emperor's decree. Once you communicate with the Celestial Emperor's decree, you can use the Celestial Emperor's decree to activate the Great Destruction Array above the demon-subduing pagoda and kill the omnipotent great demons suppressed below. As soon as she finished speaking, Lu Mingyan began to recite an ancient incantation. After she recited the incantation, a golden light shot out from the Celestial Emperor's talisman. The golden light surged into the Celestial Emperor's decree. Suddenly, the Celestial Emperor's decree began to change. The 4 dazzling golden words on the Celestial Emperor's decree emitted a blinding light. The Celestial Emperor's decree shone brightly. A great pressure spread out, as if the Celestial Emperor had descended. Lu Mingyan was pleasantly surprised when she saw this. Powerful magic power flowed from her body into the Celestial Emperor's decree. Lu Mingyan wanted to refine the Celestial Emperor's decree. Lu Mingyan. Not good. She's refining the Celestial Emperor's decree. The Celestial Emperor's decree can communicate with the demon-subduing pagoda. Lu Mingyan is definitely up to no good. After Lin Feng came out of the cave, he flew to the peak of the mountain. When he saw Lu Mingyan and the others, he was stunned at first, but then his expression changed drastically. Whoosh! Lin Feng quickly ran towards Lu Mingyan. He had to stop her as soon as possible. If Lu Mingyan refined the Celestial Emperor's decree, the consequences would be unimaginable. Senior brother, look, it's Lin Feng. Lin Feng had been discovered. When they saw Lin Feng, they were obviously shocked. Luo Shengtian was also slightly stunned, but then he laughed sinisterly. Lin Feng, you really didn't take the right path to heaven, but barged into hell instead. Today, I'll kill you. Heaven-shattering fist. Luo Shengtian shouted coldly and punched towards Lin Feng. His face was filled with killing intent. In Luo Shengtian's opinion, Lin Feng was only at the Yin-Yang realm, while he was at the creation realm. Wouldn't killing Lin Feng be as easy as killing an ant for him? Scram! Lin Feng shouted coldly and punched towards Luo Shengtian. Bang! The two of them collided, and Luo Shengtian was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. Wah! He spat out blood in midair. Luo Shengtian couldn't even take a single blow from Lin Feng and was defeated by Lin Feng. Stop him! Lu Mingyan screamed. More than a dozen core disciples of the Blue Cloud sect took out their magic treasures and charged towards Lin Feng. Whoosh! Lin Feng's breath was like a sword. Puff, puff, puff. The magic treasures were destroyed in an instant, and then the sword chi slashed towards the core disciples. Several weaker core disciples were killed on the spot, and the rest were seriously injured. Although they were from the same sect, these people were all Huangfu Qingtian's subordinates, and Lin Feng wouldn't rest until one of them was dead. Lin Feng naturally didn't need to show mercy. Lin Feng rushed in front of Lu Mingyan and punched her, interrupting Lu Mingyan's refining of the Heavenly Emperor's decree. At this time, the Heavenly Emperor's decree emitted a terrifying aura, as if it was about to release an unimaginably terrifying attack. Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. He didn't dare to hesitate and rushed towards the decree. "Get down here." Lin Feng reached out to grab the Heavenly Emperor's decree. However, the Heavenly Emperor's decree emitted a terrifying aura that suppressed Lin Feng's body. Kacha kacha. Lin Feng's body began to collapse. The Heavenly Emperor's decree's aura was too terrifying. If it was someone else who received the decree, they would have been crushed to pieces at this moment. Lin Feng's body was too strong, and he didn't die. Even so, Lin Feng couldn't withstand this terrifying aura at this moment. Lin Feng let out a mournful scream. He felt the aura of death, and he was unwilling to die like this. He frantically operated his immortal divine body. Under the immortal divine body's restoration, Lin Feng's body was repaired with difficulty and didn't directly collapse. He grabbed the Celestial Emperor's decree and tore it off. "Lowly creature, you've ruined this Emperor's plan." Suddenly, a cold voice came from the Heavenly Emperor's decree in the void. Endless holy light soared into the sky, and a mysterious man in a holy robe stepped out from the holy light. The man's appearance couldn't be seen clearly. However, everyone could feel a heavenly might from the man. It was as if they were facing the supreme heavenly Tao. The Heavenly Emperor. The Heavenly Emperor has appeared. Lin Feng is dead for sure. Lu Mingyan shouted excitedly. Boom! The Heavenly Emperor stepped into the void and sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Kacha kacha. Lin Feng's body had just recovered, and now it looked like a piece of porcelain had cracked. Lin Feng was stuck in the air. He couldn't move at all. He looked at the mysterious man with a face full of fear. Was this the Heavenly Emperor? Even if it was just an illusion, it was unimaginably terrifying and impossible to resist. Lin Feng had never felt so close to death. The Heavenly Emperor's attack was about to hit Lin Feng. Suddenly, the entire mountain peak cracked open. A man in his 30s stepped into the sky. "Heavenly Emperor, we haven't seen each other in a long time." The man punched towards the Heavenly Emperor's phantom. Bang! He and the Heavenly Emperor collided. The void collapsed, and the entire demon realm began to collapse. The laws were shattered. These two existences were too terrifying. Chapter 9:21. After the collision, Tiandi's phantom and the omnipotent beast quickly retreated. They faced each other in the sky, and the space around them started to distort. Lin Feng quickly retreated, not daring to get close to the battlefield. He didn't want to get caught in the crossfire. Tiandi's gaze shifted from the omnipotent beast to Lin Feng. His expression was gloomy as he said, No wonder. So it's that kind of bloodline. Boy, I'll remember you." Being remembered by Tiandi was obviously not a good thing. Lin Feng knew how much Tiandi wanted to kill him. However, since they had already shed all pretenses of cordiality, Lin Feng naturally wouldn't be afraid of Tiandi just because he was Tiandi. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Many people remember me. Who do you think you are?" Hearing Lin Feng's words, Tiandi's face twitched violently. His eyes were cold and filled with boundless fury. "Ha ha ha, well said." The omnipotent beast laughed loudly. He was indescribably carefree. "Oomph." Tiandi snorted coldly, his cold eyes looking deeply at Lin Feng. Then, he took Lu Mingyan and the others and left. More than 100 miles away, the people of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were bewildered because the space around the Heavens Tribulation Beast territory had started to collapse. Clearly, something had happened. "We can't stay here any longer. Let's go quickly." The ancient powerhouse of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty said in a deep voice. He quickly flew towards the spatial gate with the cultivators of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. Senior, congratulations on escaping. Lin Feng went up to congratulate him. The omnipotent demon took a deep breath and smiled. Even the air outside is free. I never thought that I, the omnipotent demon, would be able to see the light of day again. Today, I was able to escape, and your contributions cannot go unnoticed. Lin Feng hurriedly said, It's what I should do. The omnipotent beast asked, What's your name? I'm Lin Feng. The Tongtian beast nodded and said, I'll stay here for half a year. During this time, you can follow me and practice cultivation. Lin Feng was delighted. The omnipotent great demon was a big shot in the undying realm back then. The heavenly emperor had joined forces with 36 great emperors to suppress the heaven-reaching great demon. From this, one could tell how terrifying the heaven-reaching great demon was. Now, Yi Fujian was actually able to cultivate with the heaven-reaching great demon for half a year. Clearly, the heaven-reaching great demon understood what he meant. Perhaps in order to repay him for saving his life, the omnipotent great demon wanted to guide him in his cultivation. Time passed. Lin Feng was cultivating in the heavenly tribulation demon realm, fighting ferocious beasts, fighting giant demons, constantly sharpening his cultivation. At the same time, Lin Feng would also consult the omnipotent great demon every day on matters that he did not understand in his cultivation. Lin Feng's cultivation quickly stabilized. Then, he quickly rose to the 9th level of the yin-yang realm. At night, the stars were like sand. The omnipotent great demon sat cross-legged in front of a cliff, the heavenly emperor's decree floating in front of him. Powerful magic power surged into the celestial emperor's decree as the omnipotent demon continued to refine it. Lin Feng did not cultivate today because he had been cultivating bitterly all this time. He needed to relax. Lin Feng took out the ancient bronze book. This bronze book had been found in Dugu Outyan's family's treasury, and it was covered in numerous runes. The runes intertwined together, emitting astonishing fluctuations. However, Lin Feng had been unable to decipher the runes. These are heavenly formation runes. I never thought that something like this would be passed down until now. The omnipotent great demon looked at the bronze book in Lin Feng's hand and said. Lin Feng was startled. It seemed that the omnipotent great demon had recognized the origins of the bronze book. Lin Feng asked, Senior, what kind of heavenly formation runes are you talking about? The omnipotent great demon said, They are the legacies of the heavenly masters. They have inherited heavenly formation runes. The heavenly masters? Lin Feng was astonished. This was the first time he had heard of such a thing. In reality, Lin Feng knew very little about the legacies of the spirit formation masters. This was because Lin Feng had been studying spirit formation masters since the beginning, and the legacies he had obtained had not come from a single sect. Many of the formations had been purchased by Lin Feng at a high price, so they were rather heterogeneous. There are many inheritances of spiritual array masters. Some of the more famous ones are the Taoist masters, the Earth Masters, and so on. There are tens of thousands of different branches, but among all the inheritances, there is one that is the most mysterious, and that is the Taoist Master's inheritance. Why do you say that? Lin Feng asked. The Heavenly Masters have very few successors. After tens of thousands of years, there were only 36 generations in the immemorial era. Moreover, there were often gaps in the legacies, and the legacies were lost over and over again until a fated person obtained them and succeeded in cultivating them. Then, they appeared as heavenly masters again. The omnipotent great demon explained, Why would there be gaps in such a powerful legacy? Lin Feng was extremely puzzled. In Lin Feng's opinion, some powerful legacies and orthodoxies were extremely powerful. They could widely accept disciples, pass down their teachings, and strengthen their sections. How had those immemorial era powers been passed down? This was how they had been passed down. The Celestial Master lineage was the most powerful lineage of spiritual array masters in the branch of spiritual array masters. Such a force should be extremely large. Heavenly masters cannot meet in pairs. The omnipotent great demon said, Cannot meet in pairs? There is such a strange rule? Lin Feng muttered, This is not a rule, but a curse. The omnipotent great demon said. Hearing the word curse, Lin Feng suddenly felt a chill run down his spine, because he thought of the fire crow. The fire crow had been cursed and would never be able to escape the curse of the immortal's cave. Although it had an endless lifespan, it had been imprisoned for its entire life and lived a painful and lonely life. What kind of curse is it? Lin Feng asked. What kind of curse is it? I don't know, but I once saw an extremely powerful heavenly master accept a disciple when he was old. That heavenly master was cursed, and he fell into the underworld and became a dead spirit, unable to escape the shackles of the underworld. The omnipotent great demon said, Isn't that the same as the fire crow? The fire crow was unable to escape the curse of the immortal's cave, but the heavenly master that the omnipotent great demon saw was even more miserable, falling into the underworld. But in a way, their experiences are exactly the same. Lin Feng thought to himself. Suddenly, a light flashed in his mind, and he thought of a possibility. Could the fire crow be a heavenly master of the heavenly master sect? You seem to have some ideas, the omnipotent great demon said. Lin Feng said, Some time ago, I saw a fire crow in the swamp of death. It seemed to be a human cultivator, but for some reason, it was cursed by the immortal's cave and turned into a fire crow. It had an endless lifespan, but it could never escape the curse of the immortal's cave. Every day, it would suffer endless pain and torment, and it would live a lonely life. The omnipotent great demon was slightly surprised. It seems that the immortal's cave isn't simple. Senior, can you help me open this bronze book? Lin Feng asked. I can try, but you have to be careful. The celestial masters are cursed. Even though they're powerful, they're too evil. Even great emperors can't get rid of the curse. Therefore, if you don't have to, try not to, said the Tongtian great beast. Yes, I will seriously consider it, Lin Feng said. The omnipotent great demon nodded. He stretched out his hand, and a stream of godly strength poured into the bronze book. Chapter 9:22. The intertwined runes emitted astonishing fluctuations, emitting waves of shocking power. This was the secret manual of the heavenly master's lineage. Now, it was about to be opened. Even though he knew that this lineage's inheritance was shrouded by the shadow of a curse, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel excited. This was because any spiritual array master would yearn to learn more about such a powerful inheritance. The most tyrannical spirit array master's inheritance. If he didn't carefully study it, wouldn't he regret it for the rest of his life? Kacha. The sealed bronze book began to open on its own. Many runes reassembled. This was the method to open the bronze book. The omnipotent great demon was truly terrifying. He could even break the heavenly master's runes. Finally, the bronze book opened. Lin Feng thanked the omnipotent great demon and began to study the things recorded in it. On the first page, there were 7 very eye-catching words on the first line. The heavenly masters will never meet. This was what the omnipotent great demon had told him before. Below was the inheritance of the heavenly master's lineage. Born from the heavens and earth, swallowing the essence. Heavenly Tao Book, divine runes formed. Lin Feng read the next paragraph. This paragraph recorded the origin of the heavenly master's lineage. After reading it, Lin Feng was extremely shocked. This was because the heavenly master's lineage was not created by cultivators. It came from a stone scripture. This stone scripture was born from the heavens and earth. It was a rune born from the heavens and earth. Later on, this stone scripture was obtained by someone and created the heavenly master's lineage. Born from the heavens and earth, isn't it the same as heavenly fire, immortal medicine, and other things? Lin Feng was abnormally shocked. No wonder the heavenly master's lineage was known as the strongest spirit array master's inheritance, but it was still cursed. The reason should be because it was too powerful. A spirit array born from the heavens and earth was naturally not something that could be created by cultivators. The stone scripture recorded 3,000 great arrays. This was the foundation of the heavenly master's lineage. Lin Feng continued to read. That mysterious and unfathomable stone scripture not only recorded 3,000 types of powerful formations. Moreover, It was a stone artifact. Some of the best stone artifacts were comparable to emperor weapons, and the stone scripture was such a treasure. However, the Heavenly Master's holy artifact, the stone scripture, was lost. As for the Heavenly Master's orthodoxy, it was the first time there had been a major break in the orthodoxy. This bronze book recorded a portion of the Tao teachings of the Heavenly Masters. Even after losing the sacred artifact, the legacy of the Celestial Masters is still so powerful. If the stone scripture was still here, how heaven-defying would it be? Lin Feng was deeply shocked. The Heavenly Master lineage can locate spirit veins, search for immortal residences, freely travel through death zones, enter the heavenly court, explore the underworld, communicate with yin and yang, break through heavenly formations, seal the great Tao, slaughter the heavens, destroy the gods and Buddhas. There were more than 100 words that recorded the abilities of the Celestial Masters. The Celestial Master lineage had mastered many terrifying techniques. For example, some of them allowed them to walk freely in a place as terrifying as the land of death. It was simply inconceivable. Some of his methods were very similar to the dragon-searching formula of the mountain-moving Taoist lineage. He could locate spirit veins and search for immortal residences. There were also some methods that allowed one to ignore the ultimate killing formation and travel through it without any hindrance. Of course, there were also many powerful attacks that could kill gods and Buddhas. They were so powerful that even gods and Buddhas trembled in fear. The contents of the book were too shocking, and Lin Feng was dumbfounded when he read it. The omnipotent great demon seemed to know the contents of the book, and he faintly said, "This lineage is already very heaven-defying. Although it's only a single lineage, everyone who sees it fears it." Lin Feng nodded and said, "I never thought that there would be such a terrifying legacy. No wonder the Celestial Master lineage was cursed." In the following days, Lin Feng continued to cultivate diligently every day, and then he would study the bronze book. Although he knew that the legacy of the Celestial Master lineage had been cursed, Lin Feng could not control his desire to learn more about it. Moreover, from Lin Feng's point of view, the Celestial Master lineage had been lost for tens of thousands of years, and the ancestors of the Celestial Master lineage had died long ago. So what if he cultivated? At most, he would never pass down the legacy of the Celestial Master lineage to anyone else. This way, the curse of the Celestial Master lineage would have no effect on him. After cultivating with the omnipotent great demon, Lin Feng's cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds. The number of laws in Lin Feng's body also continued to increase. In the end, it reached 1,000 laws. This was his limit, and he could not continue to refine the laws unless his cultivation made a breakthrough. Otherwise, if he forcefully refined the laws into his body, Lin Feng's body would be destroyed. Next, Lin Feng began to consolidate his cultivation, preparing to break through to the 10th level of the yin-yang realm. The 10th level of the yin-yang realm was called the Lesser Creation Realm. Once he broke through, he would only be one step away from the true creation realm. Lin Feng used a month to adjust his state and wash away all the impurities. Then, he began to try to break through to the 10th level of the yin-yang realm. Boom! The magic power in his body surged. Primordial Fiend Liquid. Divine Source. It also began to be refined by Lin Feng. Every time he broke through, his bloodline would become stronger. Lin Feng would seize this opportunity to refine the divine source to stimulate the immortal divine blood in his body. The immortal divine blood in his body began to awaken. Soon, Lin Feng's immortal divine blood reached 16% purity. Lin Feng estimated that when he broke through to the creation realm, it should reach 20% purity. For special bloodlines, every 10% increase in bloodline purity would increase the power of the bloodline by several times. Loud rumbling sounds came from Lin Feng's body like thunder. The magic power in Lin Feng's body exploded like a river bursting through a dam. A monstrous amount of magic power surged. Lin Feng's aura became stronger and stronger. Finally, at a certain moment, Lin Feng's energy fluctuations began to rise in a straight line. It increased by a full 10 times before stopping. I broke through to the 10th level of the yin-yang realm. Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. In the depths of the ancient forest of the fallen immortals, the omnipotent demon beast held a ball of magic power in his hand. Within the ball of magic power was a sealed miniature world. This miniature world was the Heaven's Tribulation demonic territory. The Heaven's Tribulation demonic territory itself was a precious treasure, but it had become a miniature world of its own. Now, it was under the omnipotent demon's control. If the Heaven's Tribulation demonic territory was just an ordinary territory, I would have given it to you and let you increase your cultivation. However, this is a treasure, and it involves a great secret. The treasure's master is still alive, and if it's in your hands, he'll appear and kill you 1,000 times over with just a thought. Therefore, I'll take it away. The omnipotent demon said. Only you can control such a treasure, Senior, Lin Feng said. After a pause, Lin Feng asked, Senior, where are you going after leaving the Tianwu continent, the deepest part of the starry sky world? I want to return to the undying realm and see the Skyfall River, my homeland. The omnipotent demon's voice became desolate. That battle all those years ago, countless demons of the Skyfall River had been killed by the heavenly court. The relatives of the heaven-reaching demon must have perished in that battle as well. I don't know if I'll be able to see Senior again one day, Lin Feng muttered. The world was too big. This parting might be an eternal one. Work hard on your cultivation. If you have the strength to enter the undying realm one day, we'll meet again. The omnipotent demon walked off into the distance. His figure gradually disappeared into the distance. Chapter 9:23. In the Death Swamp, a fire crow streaked across the sky and crashed into a cliff. Bang, bang, bang. The fire crow's head crashed into the cliff again and again. The earth shook and the mountains shook. Every day, the fire crow would suffer the pain of having its soul devoured. At this time, it would crash into the cliff to lessen the pain. A figure walked over from afar. The fire crow seemed to sense something and turned around. Its feathers stood on end as it looked at the person walking over with a serious expression. It felt that this person was abnormally terrifying. Who are you? The fire crow asked. You don't even remember me? That terrifying curse buried your memories and made you forget who you are? You're living in endless pain. The omnipotent demon sighed. The fire crow sneered. Of course I know who I am. The omnipotent demon said. The most terrifying and sorrowful thing is that you think you know everything, but in the end, you realize that everything was planned by someone else. Everything you've experienced, even the memories in your head, don't actually belong to you. They were stuffed into your head by someone else. The fire crow said with a gloomy expression, I don't know what nonsense you're talking about. Caw, caw, caw. The fire crow flapped its wings and flew into the distance. The omnipotent demon shook his head slightly as he watched the fire crow leave. He then walked in another direction. There were still many cultivators gathered in the Starfall mountain range in search of Yuan meteor stones. Lin Feng also arrived at the Starfall mountain range. The mountain range was extremely huge and endless. He couldn't see the end of it. Lin Feng entered the Starfall mountain range and spent an entire day digging through several places before he finally found Yuan meteor stones. Yuan meteor stones were very precious, and they were extremely rare even in the Starfall mountain range. Thus, when Lin Feng dug out the Yuan meteor stones, many people looked at him with evil intentions. Lin Feng couldn't be bothered to waste time with the cultivators here. He soared into the sky and quickly left. I've been cultivating in the heavenly tribulation beast realm for half a year. The stone debate in Holy Stone City should have already started, right? Lin Feng muttered. The Saint Stone City of the Star State would have a batch of stones passed down from the primordial era. These stones were too precious. It could be said to be a grand event that would attract countless experts. Calculating the time, it should have already started. Lin Feng planned to head to the Holy Stone City to take a look. He had never seen the primordial divine stone before, so he naturally wanted to see it for himself. Lin Feng flew out of the ancient forest of the fallen immortals. One night, 10 days later, Lin Feng started a bonfire in the middle of a forest. Then, he roasted some meat and boiled some wine. Amongst the newcomers, there was a woman who caught Lin Feng's attention. This woman was wearing a long brocade dress that was a mix of moon white and light pink. The hem of the dress and the cuffs of her sleeves were embroidered with silver threads. Her long hair was coiled together with a simple white hairpin. Her sandalwood lips were smiling, and there was an otherworldly feeling between her eyebrows. When he saw this woman, Lin Feng could not help but think of a poem that described her. It simply complimented the temperament of the woman in front of him. Her hands were soft, and her skin was smooth. Her collar was like a bion, and her teeth were like a rhinoceros. Her brows were arched, and her smile was beautiful. Her beautiful eyes were full of hope. Gu Qingsheng and Gu Qinghua. This woman seemed to have walked out of a painting. Her arrival caused the eyes of many male cultivators to become slightly heated, even though they were considered acquaintances and had known each other for a long time. Every time they saw this woman's peerless appearance, they could not help but secretly sigh in admiration at the greatness of the Creator to be able to give birth to such a beauty. A few female cultivators looked at a male cultivator who had arrived with them. He looked to be in his 20s and had a slender figure. His face was like jade, and his eyes were like stars. He was very handsome, and it was no wonder that he attracted the attention of the female cultivators. However, it was obvious that this male cultivator was not very interested in the other female cultivators. His gaze was fixed on the female cultivator who had walked out of a painting. Wang Chaozong said, "That woman is called Lu Huaxian, and she's the #1 beauty of the Spirit Cloud continent. That male cultivator is called Su Ling, and his clan is a clan of the ancients. It's said that his mother is the daughter of a great elder of the primordial Spirit Cloud Mountain Villa. Su Ling's talent is also very shocking. Normally, we don't interact with him, but this time, Lu Huaxian came with us to train." Lu Huaxian bowed to everyone and then found a place to sit down and rest. Her every move had an indescribable beauty to it. Chapter 9:24. Brother Lin, where do you plan to go? Wang Chaozong asked. Holy Stone City. Wang Chaozong looked delighted as he said, "What a coincidence. We're also planning to head to Holy Stone City. We heard that a batch of primordial godly material would appear there, so we're planning to go and see if we can obtain something amazing." The cultivator called Yuan Hua's eyes lit up when he heard about primordial godly stones. He came over and said, "I once cut a primordial godly stone in the past, and I heard that I found something amazing." Lin Feng asked in surprise, "What did you find?" "I heard that a fairy was cut out," Yuan Hua said mysteriously. Lin Feng was shocked, but he did not doubt Yuan Hua's words. In theory, the primordial godly stone was wrapped in godly power, which was equivalent to a seal that could isolate the passage of time. If a fairy was cut out, it was not impossible for it to be born. Wang Chaozong was obviously very interested in this matter. He said, "A fairy can be cut out? This isn't just a rumor, is it? Even if she's really sealed in the stone, her life will quickly fade away, right? If you say that a fairy's bones were cut out, I'd believe it." Yuan Hua said, "What do you know?" "I'm telling the truth, because one of my ancestors saw it." Yuan Hua's words attracted the attention of many people, and they all perked up their ears to listen. Lin Feng asked, "What was the situation at the time?" Yuan Hua said, "At the time, it caused a huge commotion and attracted many people. Although tens of thousands of years have passed, many factions should still have records of it. According to the records left behind by my ancestor, life was born in the primordial godly material. When the primordial godly stone cracked open, a fairy walked out." "Stop. Are you saying that the girl walked out of the primordial godly stone by herself?" Wang Chaozong asked. "That's what my ancestor said," Yuan Hua said. Wang Chaozong shook his head. "What you're saying is getting more and more unreliable. I don't believe it," Lin Feng said. "Actually, it's not that it's unreliable. If someone is sealed in a primordial godly stone, they might not die even after hundreds of millions of years." "Isn't their lifespan already gone?" Wang Chaozong asked. Lin Feng said, "Among the primordial god stones, there is a type of god stone called the time restriction stone. This kind of divine stone is very strange. Its interior will form a very special kind of divine power, and when this kind of divine power flows, it can isolate the passage of time. Therefore, in theory, If you can find such a divine stone and seal yourself in it, it is indeed possible for you to not die, and then walk out of the divine stone after countless years. Yuan Hua replied, "Didn't I say that something like this would happen? How dare you question me?" It seems that this young master has done some research on stone materials. Lu Huaxian walked over, bringing with her a fragrant wind. Lin Feng replied, "I have indeed dabbled in it. May I know young master's name?" Lu Huaxian asked. "Lin Feng. So it's Lin Gongzi. I have a piece of stone here. I wonder if you can help me take a look at it, Lin Gongzi?" Lu Huaxian asked. At this time, Su Ling said, "Xian this kid's background is unknown, so it's better to be cautious. Moreover, what can a Yin Yang realm cultivator possibly do? I think he's just trying to be mysterious. There is no lack of people fishing for fame in this world." Lin Feng glanced at Su Ling indifferently and said, "It doesn't matter if I'm trying to be mysterious or fishing for fame. I can confirm that some people's qualities make people feel anxious. As the saying goes, the dragon has 9 sons, but the 9 sons are all different. It seems that this saying is true. Sometimes, the difference between people from large families is only in their character." Su Ling's gaze darkened, and he coldly looked at Lin Feng and said, "Are you indirectly scolding me?" Wang Chaozong hurriedly tried to smooth things over and said, "Young Master Su, Brother Lin is still young. If he said something wrong, please don't take it to heart. I apologize to young Master Su on behalf of Brother Lin." "Who do you think you are? Are you worthy of being a peacemaker?" Su Ling sneered. Wang Chaozong's face violently twitched a few times. They had been training together for more than half a year, so Wang Chaozong thought that Su Ling would give him some face. However, Su Ling obviously did not. These words were no different from a resounding slap to Wang Chaozong's face. Although Wang Chaozong was sullen, he did not dare to do anything. Su Ling's background was too great, and he could not afford to offend him. Lu Huaxian said, "Brother Su, I think we should just let this matter go. Since Xian is pleading for leniency, then let's just let it go." Su Ling did not look at Lin Feng again. In his eyes, Lin Feng was just a nobody. Lu Huaxian also did not ask Lin Feng to help her look at the stones because she also felt that a young cultivator like Lin Feng did not have much ability to identify stones. Lu Huaxian walked away, and Su Ling followed her. "I've made things difficult for Brother Wang." Lin Feng cupped his fists. Wang Chaozong said, "It's fine. Most of the people here have a good relationship. I'm not afraid of being laughed at." Although he said that, who wouldn't be angry after being humiliated like this? Lin Feng said, "When we reach Holy Stone City, I'll help you choose a few stones." Wang Chaozong did not mind. He smiled and said, "That's good. Maybe I'll be lucky. When the time comes, I'll be rich if I cut out some good things." Lin Feng naturally knew that Wang Chaozong was teasing himself. He probably did not have much hope of cutting out good things. Lin Feng smiled and did not say anything. He felt that Wang Chaozong was a good person. As for Su Ling, in Lin Feng's eyes, he was just a nobody. Late at night, Lin Feng, who was resting on a big tree, woke up. He frowned slightly, then stood up and walked into the distance. Other than the cultivator on night duty, everyone else was asleep. In the darkness, a pair of cold eyes looked over. The terrifying aura made one's hair stand on end. However, the owner of the pair of cold eyes quickly left after seeing Lin Feng. "It's actually a shadow beast. This is a vicious beast from the depths of the earth. Its cultivation is unfathomable. Could it be chasing after Lu Huaxian and the others?" Lin Feng frowned slightly. He remembered that Lu Huaxian seemed to have a stone. Could it be that she obtained it from the depths of the earth? Was that why the shadow beast followed them all the way here? "What are you doing here?" A voice came from behind him. Lin Feng looked over and saw Lu Huaxian's peerless figure. "I'm just taking a walk." Lin Feng smiled faintly and walked towards the resting area. "Just now, I vaguely felt a terrifying aura. It seemed to be the aura of a shadow beast. Why did it disappear? Could it be that he had become overly sensitive after being chased by the Umbra magic beast? Actually, there was nothing." Chapter 9:25. Holy Stone City was bustling with activity, especially during this period of time. Because of the primordial god stone, many experts had come. Many ancient clans had sent people over, hoping to buy primordial god stones. When Lin Feng and the others arrived at Holy Stone City, they found it difficult to even book an inn. They had to go to many places before they managed to book a room. Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. This is crazy. So many people have come. Wang Chaozong said, this is a grand event. The primordial god stone has appeared, so it's natural that many people will come. The group walked towards their residence. At that moment, Su Ling said to Lu Huaxian, Xianer, this kind of inn is too shabby. Our clan has a mansion in Holy Stone City. Why don't you stay in the Su clan's mansion? Many people shook their heads and didn't stay because Su Ling had no intention of inviting them. For example, Wang Chaozong, Yuan Hua, and the other cultivators were all from ancient clans. There was a big gap between them and Su Ling's clan, so they didn't have much interaction. Over the past half a year, Su Ling had probably only spoken 10 sentences to them. These cultivators naturally knew that Su Ling didn't like them, so they didn't want to be snubbed. As for the cultivators who had a good relationship with Lu Huaxian, they had more or less distanced themselves from her because of Su Ling. Lin Feng naturally didn't care whether Lu Huaxian would leave with Su Ling or not. To him, Lu Huaxian was just a nodding acquaintance. Lin Feng said, let's go take a look at the stone workshop tomorrow. Yuan Hua said, Brother Lin, are you really good at choosing stones? Why don't you help me choose a few stones? If it's lost, it'll be on me. If it's really good, I won't forget about it. Lin Feng smiled and said, do you know that many ancestors have to wait in line if they want to invite me to choose a stone? They also have to pay a law to invite me. Haha, Brother Lin, I didn't expect you to be so humorous. Yuan Hua laughed. The rest of the people also laughed, thinking that Lin Feng was joking. During this period of time, everyone had gotten to know each other a lot. Lin Feng didn't have much contact with other people, but at least they knew each other. These children of aristocratic families were not bad. None of them were particularly arrogant and domineering. Do you want to go out for a gathering tonight? Someone said, let's go to Wanhua Building and relax. Wang Chaozong said. At night, everyone headed to the Myriad Flower Building. Lu Huaxian also appeared. She didn't follow Su Ling to the Su clan's residence. Instead, she chose to stay in the inn. Everyone went to the 10,000 Flower Building. When they exited the inn, they saw Su Ling waiting outside. Many people frowned slightly. Su Ling was high and mighty. With him around, even if it was a gathering, everyone would feel somewhat uncomfortable. However, due to Lu Huaxian's reputation and the fact that no one dared to offend Su Ling, no one said anything. The Myriad Flower Building was bustling with activity as usual. This brothel that had been opened all over the Sky Martial University's 63,000 prefectures had attracted countless experts with beautiful women. Xuelingyue, the holy maiden of the Wanhua Building, is coming. When they arrived at the Myriad Flower Building, they saw excited cultivators everywhere. The Myriad Flower Building had a total of 12 holy maidens. Bai Shengyi, whom Lin Feng knew, was one of them. Xuelingyue was also one of them. She was known as the Fairy of the Moon Palace. Today, many outstanding geniuses had come to see Xuelingyue's elegance. Lin Feng and the others asked for a private room. Then, they ordered singers, dancers, musicians, and more than 30 other people. Some people played music, while others danced. Everyone drank wine and admired the beautiful dancers as they danced gracefully. Halfway through the banquet, one of Su Ling's guards entered the private room and whispered something in Su Ling's ear. Su Ling dismissed him and smiled. Everyone, since you're in Holy Stone City, I'd like to introduce you to an important person. This important person is the Stone King Xian Yuanlong's 9th disciple, Songlingen. If you get to know him, you can look for him if you want to buy stones in the future. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Ling stood up and went outside to welcome Songlingen. Many people started talking about him. The Stone King Xian Yuanlong was an esteemed guest of an ancient sect leader. He had a total of 18 disciples, and all of them were highly respected. Many people were quite excited. If they could get to know such an important person, it would naturally be very beneficial. However, some people were indifferent because they didn't think that someone like Songlingen would befriend them. Soon, Su Ling walked in with a middle-aged cultivator who looked to be in his 40s. Su Ling said, "This is Songlingen, Great Master Song." Many people went up to greet him, but Great Master Song didn't even nod his head. Wang Chaozong pursed his lips, as if he had already expected this. Yuan Hua said, "If you're not in the same circle, don't try to befriend him. In the end, you'll only embarrass yourself." Lin Feng smiled and said, "Brother Yuan, you're right." Yuan Hua was a little proud. He patted Lin Feng's shoulder and said earnestly, "Brother Lin, you're still young. You still have a long way to go." Lin Feng couldn't help but burst into laughter when he saw Yuan Hua's arrogant expression. After Song Lingen sat down, he looked at Lu Huaxian and said, "I saw Su Ling earlier. He said that niece Lu obtained a very special stone and wanted someone to take a look at it, so I came here." Lu Huaxian nodded and said, "I did indeed obtain such a stone. I'll have to trouble Senior to take a look at it." Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. He thought of the Umbra demon beast that had chased after him and was forced to retreat. This stone was probably related to the Umbra demon beast, but he didn't know what it was. "Let's open another private room for Senior to take a closer look at the stone," Su Ling said. Lu Huaxian nodded. A few cultivators who were on good terms with Lu Huaxian were also called over. Lin Feng wasn't invited. Although Lin Feng was curious about the stone's uniqueness, since Lu Huaxian didn't invite him, he naturally wouldn't take the initiative to follow. Lin Feng's ability to identify stones was unparalleled in the world, so he naturally had his own dignity. Not long after, there was a commotion outside. The saintess of the 10,000 flower building, Shuelingyue, had arrived. Many people rushed out of the private room, wanting to see Shuelingyue's peerless beauty. Lin Feng and the others also walked out of the private room. A tall and slender woman wearing a silver long dress with a veil over her face walked in. The woman walked over with light steps. Her body was surrounded by moonlight, making her look holy and otherworldly. She had a cold temperament, as if she was a fairy who had descended from the moon palace to the mortal world. Seeing this woman, Lin Feng couldn't help but think of a poem. It couldn't be more suitable for this beautiful woman in front of him, who looked like a fairy from the moon palace. The flowers think of her clothes, the clouds of her face, the spring breeze brushes the railings, the dew is thick. If not seen on top of the Jade Mountain. Chapter 9:26. The Goddess of the Moon Offerings. She's so beautiful. It's hard to imagine how beautiful she is under the veil. Some people were amazed by Shuelingyue's temperament. They hadn't seen her face, but her temperament was enough to make countless people's hearts pound. "Goddess, we've been waiting for you for a long time." A few young geniuses walked over. When they saw them, many people were astonished. Huangfu Qingqiang, Luo Yuchun, Mu Zikuan, Nangong Bieli. Of these four people, which one of them wasn't a peerless genius? Huangfu Qingqiang, the crown prince of the Yuhua celestial dynasty. Luo Yuchun, the young master of the ancient Luo family in Yuezhou. Mu Zikuan, the descendant of the time cave in the celestial continent. Nangong Bieli, the descendant of the void god school in the celestial continent. Those four people weren't just from noble backgrounds, they were also extremely talented. Their cultivation levels were comparable to those of the older generation. It was obvious that those four geniuses had come for Shuelingyue. Shuelingyue was like a fairy from the moon palace. Only those peerless geniuses were qualified to be friends with her. "Sorry for making you wait, friends." Shuelingyue walked over. Her chi was pure and holy. Her voice was pleasant to the ears, but it also gave people the impression that she was faintly discernible. Everyone opened up a path for them, allowing them to go up. After the group of geniuses left, many people were still talking about how beautiful Shuelingyue was. They were talking about how extraordinary the four geniuses were. Lin Feng and the others left. The night was bright. Lin Feng sat on the roof and looked up at the moon. He was in the depths of the starry sky. That was where he wanted to go. He liked to look at the starry sky like that. It reminded him that his mother was still being suppressed by the Jiutian god-burying coffin. Lu Huaxian and the others came back. Lin Feng just glanced at them. He didn't pay much attention to them. Lu Huaxian also saw Lin Feng. She was a bit curious. Lin Feng seemed to be shrouded in a mysterious aura. They had known each other for a while, but who knew where he came from? They didn't know anything except his name. It was hard to say whether his name was real or not. After all, Many people liked to make up a name when they went out to train. Some people even used nicknames to replace their real names. What a strange person, Lu Huaxian mumbled to herself, but she didn't think too much about it. From her point of view, Lin Feng was destined to not have much interaction with her. The next day, Lin Feng and the others went to the stone workshop. The Star State's Saint Stone City's stone workshop could be ranked in the top 5 even in the 3,000 prefectures. This was one of the most famous stone workshops. This was because primordial god stones had appeared more than once. Many top forces had set up stone workshops in the Holy Stone City. The place was bustling with noise and excitement. Countless cultivators flocked here just to gamble on stones. Not everyone had come. Some people were not very interested in stone gambling, so they did not come. Lin Feng, Wang Chaozong, Yuan Hua, and the others all numbered 7. The number of cultivators in the first courtyard was also the highest. After all, the price of the stones further in was too high. Ordinary people simply couldn't afford it. Lin Feng shuttled through the stones. He found 3 stones and handed them to Wang Chaozong. The 3 stones were worth 300 supreme-grade spirit stones. To Wang Chaozong, this was a huge sum of spirit stones. It would spend more than half of his savings. However, Wang Chaozong was an open-minded person. He paid the spirit stones without hesitation. The deacon of the stone workshop gave Wang Chaozong a stone-cutting knife. Chapter 9:27. The 3 stones were the bee smoke stone, the black scale stone, and the fire rock. These 3 types of stones were very common. Of course, in the lowest grade stone area, it was impossible to find high-grade stones. The bee smoke stone was like a bee's nest. It was oval-shaped and densely packed with holes. This was the stone that cultivators were most unwilling to use. Even if there was something inside, because of the many holes on the bee smoke stone, there was a chance that the thing inside would come into contact with the outside air and be destroyed. The black scale stone was black and covered with a layer of cuticle that looked like fish scales. This stone was usually fished out of lakes. Of course, some black scale stones were also fished out of the sea. The fire rock was formed by the movement of magma in volcanoes. It was usually mined from the surroundings of volcanoes. Wang Chaozong chose to cut the bee smoke stone first. His movements were not very practiced. In fact, it could even be said that he was very unfamiliar with it. However, he soon seemed to have found the technique to cut the stone and cut off the outer layer of the stone. The bee smoke stone is the stone that should be eliminated first. It is very difficult to cut out anything from this stone. Even if there is something inside, it will probably be destroyed 7 or 8 times out of 10. That's right. It is better to choose other stones than the bee smoke stone. However, these people seem to be novices. I think they are quite casual in their choice of stones. When they choose more stones and accumulate more experience, they will know how to choose stones. Many cultivators were discussing, and some of them looked like they were giving advice. The stone kept shrinking from a diameter of more than 1 meter to only 20 centimeters. Many of the onlookers felt that this situation was very normal. Stone gambling was originally about using small to win big. It was normal to not be able to cut out anything after hundreds or even thousands of times. Wang Chaozong was not disappointed at all. From the beginning to the end, he did not have any expectations of cutting out anything good from the stone. Since he did not have any expectations, how could he be disappointed? Wang Chaozong cut down one last time. Only half of the stone was cut, and a purple lightning power shot out from the cracked stone. There is something in the stone. Many people exclaimed when they saw this. Not only was there something in the stone, but it was also very likely that it was something extremely extraordinary. It could actually shoot out purple lightning to attack Wang Chaozong. This was too shocking. Wang Chaozong's reaction was also extremely fast. He slapped his palm towards the thunderbolt, directly shattering it. An excited expression appeared on his face. Even though he didn't have much hope, seeing that he was about to cut out something, he was naturally very excited. Wang Chaozong looked at Lin Feng. "Be careful," Lin Feng said. Wang Chaozong nodded. At this moment, the hand holding the stone-cutting knife trembled slightly. Wang Chaozong carefully cut open the stone, revealing a piece of purple lightning wood that was about 10 centimeters long. The purple lightning would continue to shoot out bolts of lightning. Purple lightning wood. Someone had cut out the purple lightning wood. The purple lightning wood is a small piece of true spirit wood in the core of the purple lightning tree. The purple lightning tree is rumored to be a divine tree from the primordial era. It is a divine tree that is compatible with wood and thunder attributes. Since the end of the primordial era, the purple lightning tree has been extinct, and the purple lightning wood has also gradually disappeared. It is very difficult to pass it down. Not only can the purple lightning wood be used to forge wood and thunder attribute magic treasures, it is also said that cultivators who cultivate wood or thunder attribute cultivation techniques will increase their cultivation speed by 10 times if they wear the purple lightning wood. A cultivator cried out in shock. At this moment, he looked at the purple lightning wood in Wang Chaozong's hand and wished he could snatch it away. This treasure was worth at least 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. The deacon's face turned green. A wasp smoke stone that was worth 100 top-grade spirit stones was actually cut into a purple lightning wood that was worth more than 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones. This business was naturally a huge loss. "Brother, you're rich." Yuan Hua and the others looked at Wang Chaozong enviously. Wang Chaozong still hadn't recovered from his shock. He just didn't want to dampen Lin Feng's mood. So he gritted his teeth and bought the 3 stones that Lin Feng had chosen for him. But now, a purple lightning wood that was worth more than 1,000,000 top-grade spirit stones was actually cut out. This made Wang Chaozong feel as if he was in a dream. Wang Chaozong came back to his senses and looked at Lin Feng gratefully. He suddenly remembered that Lin Feng had said that even if an ancestor wanted to cut a stone for him, not only would they have to line up, but they would also have to pay a reward of the law. Could it be true? Although he felt that it was unbelievable, Wang Chaozong felt that he believed Lin Feng's words in the depths of his heart. Lin Feng signaled Wang Chaozong to continue cutting the second stone. Wang Chaozong took a deep breath, held the knife, and carefully cut the second stone as if he was afraid of accidentally cutting the treasure in the stone. Many people were speechless when they saw Wang Chaozong carefully cutting the stone. Wasn't this guy too careful? It was already a great fortune to cut out a treasure from 3 stones. Did he want to cut out a treasure from every stone? Someone cut out the purple lightning wood in the first courtyard. This news quickly spread in the stone workshop of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Many people were shocked after hearing it. Many cultivators rushed outside because many people were interested in a supreme treasure like the purple lightning wood. This was a thunder and wood dual attribute supreme treasure. It was a fatal temptation for cultivators who cultivated thunder and would attribute cultivation techniques. There were more and more cultivators in the first courtyard. Many people wanted to find the cultivator who had cut out the purple lightning wood to discuss the matter of buying it. After coming out, they found out that the other party was cutting the second stone. A cultivator asked the people around him who were watching the show, "Did the cultivator who cut the stone choose the stone? His luck is too heaven-defying, right? He actually cut out a treasure like the purple lightning wood in the low-grade stone area." The cultivator who was asked said, "He didn't choose it. It was the young master in white beside him who chose it. He spent 300 top-grade spirit stones for 3 stones, but he has already made a profit. To be able to cut out a treasure like the purple lightning wood is simply the accumulated merit of our ancestors," that cultivator said. As soon as the cultivator finished speaking, a black fog rolled in the depths of the courtyard. "What's inside?" The cultivators outside couldn't see the situation inside and asked anxiously. Something else came out. The cultivators in the depths of the courtyard replied loudly. Black fog surged in the middle of the stone. It was something cut out from the black scale stone. Within the black fog, there was actually a mysterious black bone. On the surface of the bone, there were dense runes curling around it. Heavens! It's a demonic bone. Moreover, it's a demonic bone with runes imprinted on it. There must be an ancient divine ability recorded on it. Even if it was a high-grade stone, it would be very difficult to cut out such a good thing. But now, the other party had cut it out from a low-grade stone. This news quickly spread and attracted the attention of many people. Even the cultivators who were selecting stones in other stone workshops rushed to the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's stone workshop. Everyone wanted to see who it was that had such good luck. Of course, There were also some people who wanted to buy the purple lightning wood and demon bone of the Yuhua's SSS. Could it be that someone is really that lucky? He cut 2 pieces of stone and got the purple lightning wood and the demonic bone. Jealousy appeared in Su Ling's eyes. He had cut 3 pieces of stone and spent hundreds of thousands of top-grade spirit stones, but he had only gotten 1 piece of blacksmithing material that was worth a few hundred top-grade spirit stones. This made Su Ling very depressed. How could he not be jealous when he heard that the cultivator in the first courtyard had spent 200 top-grade spirit stones to get 2 supreme treasures? Songlingen said, "Let's go and take a look. I want to see if this person is really skilled or just lucky." The group quickly left this courtyard and headed outside. When they arrived at the first courtyard, they saw that it was completely surrounded. "Grandmaster Song is here. Everyone make way," someone shouted. Many people made way for Songlingen, Su Ling, Lu Huaxian, and the others to enter. When they reached the center of the crowd, they were stunned. They knew Wang Chaozong, who had cut the stone. How is this possible? Lu Huaxian was in disbelief. She knew Wang Chaozong quite well and knew that he didn't know anything about stones. Now that Wang Chaozong had cut 2 supreme treasures, it was simply like a fantasy story. However, such an unrealistic thing had really happened. As for Su Ling, his expression was gloomy. He had previously humiliated Wang Chaozong, and now he saw that it was actually Wang Chaozong, a person he didn't even bother to look at, who had cut out the purple lightning wood and demon bone. Su Ling felt the flames of jealousy burning in his heart. How could such an ancient family, a mediocre cultivator from a mediocre power, have such good luck? On the other hand, he was a genius who had the guidance of a master like Songlingen. He had spent more than 100 top-grade spirit stones, but he had only cut out a few hundred top-grade spirit stones. Comparisons were odious. That was what it meant. Now that he compared himself, Su Ling felt even more sullen. Of course, it was mainly because of jealousy. This was because Wang Chaozong's 2 supreme treasures could be sold for a sky-high price. Although Su Ling had an extraordinary background, he only had about 300,000 top-grade spirit stones on him. The number of top-grade spirit stones that Wang Chaozong had obtained after selling his items was probably more than what Su Ling could earn in his lifetime. How could Su Ling not be jealous? His gaze became colder. Pacha! Suddenly, a sound was heard. The stone-cutting knife touched something. It can't be, right? He cut out something again. Many people exclaimed in disbelief. 3 stones were cut out of 3 supreme treasures? The corners of the 3 ancestor-level experts' mouths twitched violently. They were experienced and knowledgeable. However, in their long lives, they had never seen such a thing. 3 low-grade stones worth 100 top-grade spirit stones were cut out of them. This was too unbelievable. Wang Chaozong's face was also filled with joy. He was about to cut the stone. Lin Feng said, "Take it back and cut it." Wang Chaozong was slightly stunned, but then he nodded. Lin Feng must have found something. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stopped him. At this time, everyone looked at Lin Feng. "It's him, the 3 stones he chose." Someone shouted, and everyone looked at Lin Feng. The first treasure was luck. The second treasure was luck. Then, could the third treasure be luck? Obviously, the crowd didn't think so. That young master must have grasped an extremely shocking skill in identifying stones. Lu Huaxian's red lips were slightly open. She was obviously very shocked. At this moment, she remembered that in the ancient forest of fallen immortals, she had asked Lin Feng if he knew anything about stones. Lin Feng had said yes. At that time, she had wanted to ask Lin Feng to help identify the stone she had obtained after a narrow escape. Lin Feng had agreed. But because Su Ling had interfered and made fun of Lin Feng, he had said some nasty things about Lin Feng and Lin Feng. Both sides had almost had a conflict. Lin Feng had mediated between the two of them. However, Lu Huaxian felt that Lin Feng was so young. How could he have the ability to identify stones? Thus, the idea of asking Lin Feng to help identify the stone disappeared. Yesterday, a master like Wolflingen had seen that piece of stone. However, Songlingen couldn't see anything special about the stone. Clearly, Songlingen's skills were not enough. If I had known, I would have asked him to help identify the stone. Lu Huaxian regretted it. Lin Feng and the others walked out. There were more and more people here, so it wasn't good to stay. Many people wanted to ask Lin Feng to help, but Lin Feng rejected them all. Chapter 929. Lu Huaxian was as beautiful as ever. She was like a peerless fairy that had just walked out of a painting. No man seemed to be able to resist her pitiful and expectant gaze. Lin Feng said, "You think too highly of me. I don't know much about stones, so I'm afraid I'll ruin your plans." Lin Feng didn't stay and left with Wang Chaozong and the others. Lu Huaxian was stunned after being rejected by Lin Feng. Her face flushed red as she quickly turned and left. She had never been rejected before, and now that she had been rejected by Lin Feng in front of so many people, she felt ashamed. Su Ling quickly chased after Lu Huaxian. After returning to their residence, Wang Chaozong said, "Brother, it's all thanks to you that we were able to cut out these things today. I'll take 30 and you take 70. Lin Feng smiled and said, "These things belong to you, so just take them." Wang Chaozong could only nod when he saw Lin Feng's insistence. Wang Chaozong then asked, "Are you stopping me because there's an even more precious treasure in the third stone?" Lin Feng said, "I'm not sure if it's even more precious, but I can feel that many people have developed a greedy nature. It's not good to cut out the third stone in front of so many people. You can use the demonic bone to comprehend the divine abilities within. Once you've comprehended them, you can sell them together with the other two at the auction house. These things will only bring disaster to you if you keep them. Then, you can write a letter and ask your clan's elders to take you back." Wang Chaozong naturally knew what Lin Feng meant. The things he had on him were too precious, and many people would covet them. "All right, I'll write a letter tonight," Wang Chaozong said. Lin Feng nodded and said, "I still have things to do, so let's part ways. We'll meet again if fate wills it." When they heard that Lin Feng was leaving, Yuan Hua and the others were very reluctant. They also hoped that Lin Feng would help them choose a few precious stones. But now that Lin Feng wanted to leave, their hopes were dashed. After the crowd sent Lin Feng off, Lin Feng headed towards the Qilian clan in the Holy Stone City. Back then, Lin Feng had helped Qilian Sun cut the stone. Qilian Sun and a large number of experts from the older generation had also invited Lin Feng to Saint Stone City to examine the primordial godstone. Now, Lin Feng planned to directly take a look at the primordial godstone. If possible, he wanted to cut a few primordial god stones to see if he could cut out any powerful treasures or shocking things. On the way, Lin Feng saw Lu Huaxian and Su Ling. When Lu Huaxian saw Lin Feng, she bit her red lips and hesitated for a moment. She then walked over and said, "If Lin Gongzi can help me take a look at the stones, I'm willing to pay you 100,000 top-quality spirit stones." From Lu Huaxian's point of view, 100,000 top-grade spirit stones was already a huge amount of wealth. Even the inheritors of ancient powers would find it difficult to take out 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. In the face of such a huge temptation, Lin Feng wouldn't refuse, would he? Moreover, it was just taking a look at the stones. It would be over quickly. However, Lu Huaxian clearly didn't understand Lin Feng's character. Lin Feng said indifferently, 100,000 top-grade spirit stones isn't a small amount. You can ask the Stone King Xian Yuanlong to help you, but my abilities are limited. You found the wrong person. As soon as he finished speaking, he walked off into the distance. Seeing Lin Feng leave, Lu Huaxian bit her red lips. That man had actually rejected her twice in a row. Lu Huaxian had suffered a huge blow. "Boy, stop right there." Suddenly, Su Ling shouted coldly. Swoosh, swoosh. Su Ling's two guards blocked Lin Feng's path like ghosts. Lin Feng said indifferently, "What's the matter?" Su Ling looked arrogantly at Lin Feng and said, "A cultivator like you doesn't even have the right to talk to Xian Er. Today, you actually dared to reject Xian Er's request. Aren't you shameless?" Lin Feng immediately narrowed his eyes. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Lu Huaxian wasn't a domineering person. When she heard Su Ling's words, she couldn't help but feel disgusted with him. She said coldly, "Young Master Su, this is my business. It has nothing to do with you, so please don't interfere." Hearing Lu Huaxian's words, Su Ling's face darkened. He was protecting Lu Huaxian, but Lu Huaxian didn't appreciate it. Wasn't this a slap to his face? Didn't you hear what Fairy Lu said? Why aren't you scramming? Lin Feng coldly looked at the two cultivators blocking his path. Su Ling sneered and said, Boy, who do you think you are? How dare you ask my guards to scram? Teach him a lesson. Let him know that there is always someone better than him. Young Master Su, you're going too far, Lu Huaxian said coldly. When Su Ling saw that Lu Huaxian was still protecting Lin Feng, he immediately burned with jealousy. He said, Xianer, this is between me and that boy. It has nothing to do with you. Then, Su Ling shouted, What are the two of you still standing there for? Hurry up and do it. Yes, young master. Su Ling's two guards responded. Then, one on the left and one on the right, they punched Lin Feng. The two of them were experts at the 10th stage of the yin-yang realm. Su Ling's identity was not ordinary, so his family had sent such a powerful expert to protect him. You're courting death. Lin Feng's facial expression suddenly looked glum. He was facing the two people's attacks, and he threw a punch at them. Bang! Bang! 2 consecutive dull sounds of collision were heard. Su Ling's 2 guards looked as if they had been struck by lightning. Their arms were broken, and their chests caved in. They fell to the ground and vomited blood. Lin Feng had beaten the 2 of them half to death with one move. Lu Huaxian was very surprised. She didn't expect Lin Feng to be so powerful. She had known Lin Feng for a while, but she didn't know much about him. The man in front of her was full of mysteries. Su Ling's expression was extremely gloomy. His voice was filled with dense killing intent. Boy, you actually dared to beat my subordinates so miserably. No one in the world can save you. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying aura spread out from Su Ling's body. The power of a creation realm cultivator was fully displayed. Look, they're fighting over there. That person seems to be Su Ling, the genius of the Su family in the Lingyun continent. He's at the 4th stage of the creation realm. His cultivation is unfathomable, and it's said that he has awakened a special constitution. Who is that boy? He actually angered Su Ling. I'm afraid he's in trouble now. So he's Su Ling? I've heard of him before. It's said that when he was 8 years old, he drank the blood of a divine beast and didn't die. Since then, his constitution was improved by the divine blood, and he had a meteoric rise. The cultivator who offended Su Ling seems to be at the yin-yang realm. He's probably dead now. Killing is forbidden in Holy Stone City, so there's no need to worry about being killed by Su Ling. However, Su Ling will probably break his limbs. Chapter 930. Young Master Su, can we end today's matter here? Lu Huaxian asked. This kid injured my guard. No one can save him. Su Ling's eyes were cold. What if I insist on protecting Lin Gongzi? Lu Huaxian stood in front of Lin Feng, her body emitting a powerful aura. Lu Huaxian was a goddess of heaven. She was also in the creation realm. That girl is Lu Huaxian, right? Why is the number 1 beauty of the Lingyun prefecture protecting that kid? Some cultivators asked in astonishment. The matter in front of them was not a simple conflict. Something else seemed to be involved as well. I heard that Su Ling is pursuing Lu Huaxian. Could it be that Lu Huaxian and that young cultivator are together? So Su Ling has a grudge and wants to take revenge? Some cultivators said. This explanation satisfied many people's curiosity. Many people nodded, thinking that this was the reason. Seeing that Lu Huaxian was protecting Lin Feng, Su Ling was on the verge of exploding. He looked coldly at Lin Feng and said, Kid, do you only know how to hide behind a girl? What a coward. You want to hide, but I'm afraid that Lu Huaxian won't care about you, Lin Feng said indifferently. Su Ling almost vomited blood after hearing Lin Feng's provocation. His eyes were gloomy, flashing with cold, killing intent. I can crush a nobody like you with one hand. That's all you've got. If you want to hide, just hide. I don't think you can hide forever, you coward. You better pray you don't see me, or I'll crush you like an ant. Su Ling said fiercely with all kinds of contempt and mockery. He didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. Lin Gongzi, ignore this person. I'll send you away. Lu Huaxian said. Lin Feng felt that Lu Huaxian was not bad. It was obvious that she did not hesitate to shed all pretense of cordiality with Su Ling to protect him. Her heart was still very kind. Lin Feng replied, "Thank you for your kind intentions, but someone wants to crush me to death. I want to see if that person really has the ability to do so, or if he's just bragging." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng stepped forward. Seeing that Lin Feng was about to go against Su Ling, Lu Huaxian immediately became anxious. Although Lin Feng had his own unique skills in identifying stones, his cultivation level was much lower than Lin Feng's. Lin Feng was only at the yin-yang realm. Su Ling was at the fourth layer of the creation realm. The two people's strength was simply as different as heaven and earth. It was like the difference between heaven and earth. They were talking about Su Ling and Lin Feng. Wasn't Lin Feng courting death by rushing forward so recklessly? However, Lin Feng was so determined and resolute that Lu Huaxian did not know how to dissuade Lin Feng. Thus, Lu Huaxian could only be anxious. When the surrounding onlookers saw that Lin Feng was about to go against Su Ling, many of them became excited. Could it be that this brat wants to show off in front of Lu Huaxian? Is that why he wants to fight Su Ling? But the difference between him and Su Ling is so big. Isn't rashly courting death? That brat shouldn't be so stupid, right? Some cultivators muttered. They felt that there was something strange about this matter. Good timing. When he saw Lin Feng walk out, Su Ling immediately felt proud and laughed sinisterly in his heart. If Lin Feng did not come out, there was nothing he could do. But now that Lin Feng had come out, Su Ling had absolute confidence in himself. Su Ling felt that he had 1,000 ways to play Lin Feng to death. Boom. Su Ling went up and slapped Lin Feng with his palm. Su Ling wanted to beat Lin Feng half to death first before ruthlessly torturing Lin Feng. Although the Holy Stone City had a rule that forbade killing, but it did not say that one could not humiliate or torture others. He wanted to ruthlessly humiliate this brat, torture this brat, and make him lose all face. He wanted to make Lin Feng fear him every time he saw him. Su Ling seemed to have already seen the scene of Lin Feng kneeling and begging for mercy. However, in the next moment, Su Ling suddenly felt as if his body had been hit by an immemorial mountain. Su Ling regained his senses. It turned out that his palm attack had missed, and he had been hit in the abdomen by that brat. At this moment, Su Ling felt an unimaginable pain spread through his entire body. Wah! Su Ling flew out and spat out a mouthful of blood. He fell to the ground and his body twitched violently. What's going on? All the onlookers were completely dumbfounded. They had thought that Lin Feng was going to be beaten half to death by Su Ling. But in the face of Su Ling's attack, Lin Feng had easily dodged it. Then, his fist landed heavily on Su Ling's body. Instead, he had beaten Su Ling half to death. How had that brat dodged Su Ling's attack? That was what everyone was puzzled about. Su Ling was at the fourth firmament of the creation realm. When he attacked, he had already locked onto that brat. Logically speaking, it was impossible for a yin-yang realm cultivator to dodge Su Ling's attack. But in reality, he had successfully dodged it. Could it be that he was lucky? Many people felt that it was very possible. In fact, that was the only explanation. They did not believe that Lin Feng, who was at the yin-yang realm, could defeat Su Ling, who was at the fourth firmament of the creation realm. In this world, there might really be a yin-yang realm cultivator who could defeat Su Ling, but such a cultivator would definitely be famous in the 3,000 prefectures. But who knew Lin Feng? Even Lu Huaxian had a shocked expression on her face. Was it luck or strength? Lu Huaxian's beautiful eyes stared intently at Lin Feng. She was puzzled. From Lu Huaxian's point of view, Lin Feng was shrouded in a mysterious halo. That kind of mystery made Lu Huaxian want to get closer to Lin Feng and dig out his secrets bit by bit. Su Ling roared and crawled up from the ground. At this moment, Su Ling's hair was disheveled, and there was blood on his clothes. His body was also covered in mud. It was a stark contrast to his previous handsome and confident image. Su Ling's handsome face contorted in anger. What a humiliation! It was really a great humiliation. He was a prodigy of his generation. He was actually beaten to the point of vomiting blood by a lowly cultivator. Su Ling wanted nothing more than to tear Lin Feng apart. Brat, I'm going to trample you under my feet. I'm going to ruthlessly humiliate you, shouted Su Ling furiously. He immediately threw himself at Lin Feng. He only had one thought now, and that was to take revenge on Lin Feng. 10 times. He would take revenge 100-fold. Only then could he quell the anger in his heart and wash away the endless humiliation that Lin Feng brought to him. Demon God Fist. Su Ling roared and charged at Lin Feng. Divine light shot into the sky from his left, and demonic aura surged from his right. Su Ling was like a demon and a god. He punched at Lin Feng. This demon god fist actually showed the shadow of a demon god. If this punch landed on Lin Feng's body, even if his body was tempered by the Archean dragonesque elephant art, he would probably be severely injured. Chapter 931. Demon God Fist. That's an immemorial divine ability. Su Ling is worthy of being called a genius. He even knows an immemorial divine ability. He's even using an immemorial divine ability. Su Ling clearly wants to kill him in one hit. That brat was lucky enough to dodge Su Ling's attack, but now that Su Ling has used the Demon God Fist, he won't be able to dodge it, right? Many people were discussing. Everyone looked at Su Ling with a solemn expression. The aura of Su Ling's Demon God Fist was too strong. It made everyone tremble in fear. They were only spectators, and the Demon God Fist wasn't targeted at them. Even so, the Demon God Fist made them feel pressured. Now that Lin Feng was attacked by the Demon God Fist, how much pressure would he have to endure? The pressure was probably unimaginable, right? Can Lin Feng block Su Ling's attack? Lu Huaxian's beautiful eyes stared at Lin Feng. Now, Lu Huaxian was already suspicious of Lin Feng. She felt that Lin Feng should be very terrifying, but he was just pretending to be weak. He didn't reveal his true strength. However, if you really thought that he was easy to bully, then you would be gravely mistaken. If Su Ling still couldn't defeat Lin Feng after using the Demon God Fist, then Lu Huaxian could be sure that Lin Feng had been hiding his true strength. The Demon God Fist carried a boundless aura as it attacked Lin Feng. What a powerful immemorial divine ability! When Lin Feng felt the power of the Demon God Fist, he was extremely shocked. If the laws in Su Ling's body were on par with his, then the Demon God Fist might have been able to threaten him. From this, it could be seen how powerful the Demon God Fist was. But now, Su Ling was only at the 4th stage of the creation realm, and he only had 27 laws in his body. Compared to Lin Feng, the difference was like heaven and earth. In the face of Su Ling's attack, Lin Feng didn't even need to use his divine art. He simply lifted his right hand and slapped at Su Ling. You think you're better than others. You think you can look down on everyone with your little bit of strength. I have to say, you're really just a frog at the bottom of a well. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng's palm had already slammed down. It was as if Mount Tai was crashing down. Su Ling's condensed godly demon fist was instantly shattered by Lin Feng's palm. Then, Lin Feng's attack landed heavily on Su Ling's chest. As if struck by lightning, Su Ling was sent flying by Lin Feng's attack. Wow! In midair, he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His face was as pale as a sheet of paper. This attack caused Su Ling to be severely injured. He fell to the ground, his body twitching. The entire street was dead silent. At this moment, all the cultivators who were watching the show were dumbfounded by what was happening before them. It was as if they had seen a malicious spirit run to Holy Stone City during the day. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. So he was hiding his cultivation before. Lu Huaxian's beautiful eyes lit up. She looked as excited as a navigator who had discovered a new continent. Lin Feng walked over and stepped on Su Ling's chest. Bastard! You dare to step on me? Let me go. Su Ling's face twisted as he roared in anger. He had never suffered such humiliation before. It made him want to go crazy. Stepping on you is already a light punishment. Right now, I'm thinking of crippling your limbs or crippling your dantian first. Lin Feng looked at Su Ling in a condescending way. The corners of his mouth raised in an ice-cold way. Su Ling's face suddenly revealed a trace of horror. He could feel that Lin Feng wasn't joking at all. He really wanted to cripple him. Lu Huaxian said, Lin Gongzi, today's matter is all a misunderstanding. There's no need for us to make such a big deal out of it, right? Lin Feng looked at Lu Huaxian with a smile that wasn't a smile. He suddenly felt that he had underestimated Lu Huaxian. He had also thought that Lu Huaxian was too naive and simple. In reality, how could a woman like Lu Huaxian be naive? After meeting Lin Feng's gaze, Lu Huaxian suddenly felt her heartbeat quicken. It was a feeling of panic after the secret she had hidden deep in her heart was discovered. Lu Huaxian slightly avoided Lin Feng's gaze. "All right, I'll give fairy face today." Lin Feng immediately lowered his head and looked at Su Ling. He said, "Since Fairy Lu has pleaded for you, I'll give you a chance today. Let's see if you can grasp this opportunity." After hearing Lin Feng's words, Su Ling, who was originally very worried, could finally let out a sigh of relief. As long as he agreed to Lin Feng's conditions, he would be safe. However, in the next moment, Lin Feng's words made Su Ling's expression turn extremely ugly. "Your primordial divine demon fist is not bad. I've taken a liking to it. Give me the cultivation manual," Lin Feng said with a smile. "You're asking too much," Su Ling said with a gloomy expression. "You can choose not to agree, but I can also choose to cripple you," Lin Feng said indifferently. "You're acting like a bandit. You're taking advantage of someone's perilous situation. You're too despicable and shameless." Su Ling was so angry that he kept roaring. He originally wanted to curse a few times, but fortunately, he still had some rationality left and didn't say anything. Lin Feng said indifferently, "I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. I'll ask you one last time. Will you give me the cultivation manual of the divine demon fist?" No matter how unwilling Su Ling was, he had no way out at this moment. "Take it." Su Ling gritted his teeth, took out a scroll, and threw it to Lin Feng. Lin Feng opened the scroll and looked through it carefully. There was no problem with the contents of the scroll, and Su Ling didn't play any tricks. He put the scroll away. The surrounding cultivators were all dumbfounded. This guy, he actually dared to so brazenly take someone else's primordial divine ability. That was an primordial divine ability. Any primordial divine ability was incomparably precious, and its value was unimaginable. Countless cultivators had entered the great swamp, barged into the demonic abyss, fought evil beasts, and fought evil spirits in order to obtain a primordial divine ability. However, Lin Feng had easily taken advantage of Su Ling's primordial divine ability, and he had succeeded. Many people looked at Lin Feng with envy and jealousy. They wanted to immediately take the scroll away, but when they thought of Lin Feng's terrifying strength, they quickly suppressed their crazy thoughts. Scram! Lin Feng kicked Su Ling and sent him flying more than 10 meters away. Su Ling got up from the ground and left in a sorry state with the help of 2 guards. "Brat, just you wait. This matter won't end like this." Su Ling roared hysterically in his heart. Chapter 932. Lin Gongzi, why don't we find a place to talk? Lu Huaxian asked. This time, Lin Feng didn't refuse. He nodded and left with Lu Huaxian. What an exciting battle of love. No wonder Lu Huaxian got together with that brat. He's too strong. Su Ling is nothing in front of him. Yeah, Su Ling thought he had that brat in his grasp. Who knew that the brat would play dumb and beat him half to death? This could be written into a novel and told by the storytellers in the tea houses. It would definitely attract a lot of customers. Seeing Lin Feng and Lu Huaxian leave, many people started discussing. These people started imagining things. Moreover, this kind of gossip spread very quickly. Not long after, there really were storytellers in restaurants and tea houses talking about this matter. Of course, this was all in the future. Lin Feng and Lu Huaxian arrived at an elegant tea house. After the two sat down, Lin Feng looked at Lu Huaxian with a faint smile and said, "I really couldn't tell that fairy was such a scheming person." Lu Huaxian's face turned slightly red, and an apologetic expression appeared on her face. She stood up and bowed to Lin Feng, saying Xian was really annoyed by Su Ling. "I hope that Sir can forgive Xian actions today." Lu Huaxian was about to cry as she spoke. Lin Feng didn't believe that Lu Huaxian would shed real tears. This woman was very two-faced. Lin Feng already knew that Su Ling was pursuing Lu Huaxian. Moreover, Lu Huaxian's relationship with Su Ling wasn't bad. Although she didn't accept Su Ling, she didn't reject him either. Lin Feng thought about what happened today and realized that something wasn't right. The reason seemed to be because he refused to look at the stones for Lu Huaxian. Su Ling stood up for Lu Huaxian. Moreover, the conflict between the two of them became more and more serious, to the point of fighting. When Su Ling wanted to deal with him, Lu Huaxian stood up for him. She even ruthlessly told Su Ling, "This matter has nothing to do with Su Ling. Tell Su Ling not to interfere." Lin Feng originally thought that immortal Lu Hua was not bad. She did not hesitate to shed all pretense of cordiality with Su Ling to protect him. However, after thinking about it, he felt that something was not right. Logically speaking, Lu Huaxian's relationship with Su Ling was much more than her relationship with him. If there was a conflict, there was a high probability that Lu Huaxian would stand on Su Ling's side. However, Lu Huaxian was on his side. Of course, he couldn't rule out the possibility that Lu Huaxian was a woman with a strong sense of justice, but this assumption wasn't valid either. Even though Lu Huaxian's sense of justice was off the charts, with Lu Huaxian's wisdom, the best way to persuade Su Ling was to use some gentle words to persuade Su Ling, but not to coldly reprimand Su Ling, as if saying that if Su Ling dared to touch Lin Feng, they would cut off all ties. Su Ling had always been a jealous person. Seeing Lu Huaxian protecting Lin Feng, how could he stand it? All of his rationality vanished in an instant. Thus, Lin Feng felt that Lu Huaxian had done it on purpose. She had purposely angered Su Ling, causing the conflict between him and Su Ling to deepen. If this wasn't black-bellied, then what was? If it wasn't for Lin Feng being used to deception, he wouldn't even know that he had been tricked by Lu Huaxian. Seeing that Lin Feng only smiled without saying anything, Lu Huaxian said with tears in her eyes, "Xian Er's family is only an ancient family. Ever since this Su Ling met Xian Er, he has been pestering Xian Er. His family's influence is enormous, and his mother's family is also an ancient power. How could a small family like ours dare to offend him? If this Su Ling was a righteous person, then Xian Er would have given herself to him. However, this Su Ling's character is sinister, jealous, and merciless. Someone like him might be able to hold Xian Er in his hands when he pursues Xian Er, but once he obtains Xian Er, he will definitely abandon Xian Er. Xian Er has seen too many people like him, and I can already guess what kind of tragic ending will await Xian Er in the future. Seeing that young master is like a god descending from the heavens, Xian Er knew that young master would definitely be able to help Xian Er get rid of this person. Thus, Xian Er carefully planned everything. However, I didn't expect young master's eyes to be as sharp as a torch, instantly seeing through Xian Er's thoughts. Now, Xian Er only hopes that young master can forgive Xian Er. As long as young master can forgive Xian Er will agree to any request. Speaking until here, Lu Huaxian blushed, as if she was hinting something to Lin Feng. Humans live in this world. Most of the time, they have no choice. We don't live for ourselves. We also have to live for our family and loved ones. For example, Lu Huaxian could fall out with Su Ling for him. However, what about her family? Do you know what is the most precious thing to a woman? Lin Feng stood up and looked at Lu Huaxian. Lu Huaxian's face immediately turned red. She stuttered, finding it hard to speak. Lin Feng looked at Lu Huaxian's expression and knew that she had guessed wrong. Lin Feng helplessly shook his head and said, "It's tears. A woman's tears are the most painful, but also the most precious thing. I won't blame you for what happened today because Su Ling has long been an eyesore to me. Taking care of him is something that will happen sooner or later. Let's part ways here." Lin Feng cupped his fists. Lu Huaxian said, "Young master, can you help Xian Er take a look at the stone?" Lin Feng indifferently said, "Of course I can take a look at the stone, but no matter what is cut out of the stone, half of it must belong to me." After hearing Lin Feng's words, Lu Huaxian immediately looked like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She clenched her teeth and placed her hands on her waist, saying, "Why don't you just rob me?" Her current fierce appearance was poles apart from her previous poetic and picturesque image. However, she now had a hint of playfulness and cuteness. Lin Feng smiled and said, "If you don't want to agree, perhaps you can sleep with me for 10 days and I'll help you take a look at the stone. How about it?" After saying that, Lin Feng's gaze faintly looked at some of the more sensitive parts of Lu Huaxian's body. Lu Huaxian felt as if a pair of large hands were caressing her body, causing her sensitive body to slightly tremble. Her face reddened and she angrily shouted, "Stinky pervert! Do you believe that I won't gouge out your eyeballs? As soon as she finished speaking, she hurriedly used her hands to block the surging waves. Lin Feng smiled and said, I was just joking with you. You don't have to react so violently, do you? Let's get back to the main topic. If I'm not wrong, this stone of yours is related to the shadow beast, right? How did you know? Lu Huaxian's expression slightly changed. Immediately after, she said in shock, that night, did the shadow beast really chase after us? Were you the one who scared it away? Lin Feng nodded and said, the more precious a stone is, the more you can't carelessly cut it. If nothing comes out, then it's fine. But if you cut something that shouldn't be cut out, then it's terrifying. Who knows how many people will be killed? Think about it carefully and see if you want my help. If you understand, then you can go to the Chilean clan to find me. Lin Feng left and headed towards the Chilean clan. The Chilean clan's mansion was thousands of acres in size. It was extremely large and had countless guests. Of course, this wasn't the Chilean clan's ancestral land. No one knew where the true core of the ancestral land was. However, the Chilean clan in Holy Stone City was also filled with experts. There was even an ancient tycoon, Chilean Sun, personally overseeing it. Lin Feng arrived outside the Chilean clan's mansion, but he was stopped by someone. Kid? The Chilean clan is not to be trespassed. Leave, the guard said in a deep voice. Lin Feng was about to state his purpose for coming. Suddenly, the sound of a beast's roar came from the distance. More than 10 strange beasts were rushing towards them. More than 10 young men jumped off the strange beasts. Chapter 933. Lin Feng had seen the 5th prince of the Yuhua immortal dynasty, Huangfu Qingming. They had fought in the heavenly tribulation beast territory. Huangfu Qingming was at the 6th celestial layer of the fortune realm. There was another person standing next to Huangfu Qingming. It was Huangfu Qingqiang, the eldest prince of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. Nay, at that moment, a dozen flying horses came from another direction, pulling an ancient chariot. A person came down from the chariot. It was Luo Yuchun, the genius of the Luo clan in Yuezhou. Roar! A dragon's roar was heard. In the distance, a flood dragon pulled a chariot. Mu Zikuan, the descendant of the Cave of Time, arrived. Then, many strange beasts surrounded by divine flames flew into the sky. Nangong Bieli, the descendant of the House of the Void God, arrived. They were all geniuses. They were all very strong. They had all achieved outstanding results in the battle of the geniuses of the 3,000 provinces. In the distance, celestial music could be heard. Dozens of beautiful maidservants in white dresses flew in front of a flower chariot. The fragrance of flowers filled the air. A beautiful woman came down from the flower chariot. She was still wearing a veil. She was as cold as the moon. Xueling Yu was also there. She's so beautiful. Many people on the street looked at Xueling Yu. They couldn't see her face because she was wearing a veil. However, everyone had already been subdued by her temperament. Why are all these top geniuses here at the Chilean clan? Did something happen? Someone asked. Actually, Qi Lianjia invited them. Rumor has it that Qi Lianjia left 10 years ago. He said he wanted to return to nature like a monk. He traveled alone in the endless sands. Is he back now? It seems like he's back. Back then, Qi Lianjia's cultivation was already extremely heaven-defying. Many people thought that he would shine during the Tianjiao competition, but who would have thought that he would enter the endless sands and cultivate alone? But now, since he came out from the endless sands, his cultivation must have reached an unimaginable level. Many people were talking about Qi Lianjia. It was obvious that many people admired him. Back then, when he was at the Yin-Yang layer, he could kill high-level fortune realm cultivators. That was why he was so famous. If he hadn't disappeared for 10 years, presumably, his reputation would be much greater than his current one. Lin Feng heard the discussion of some people and remembered the name Qi Lianjia. He had never heard of Qi Lianjia. This was because Qi Lianjia had swept through the younger generation 10 years ago. Lin Feng was only 13 years old at that time. He was confused. Naturally, it was impossible for him to have heard about Qi Lianjia. During the 10 years when Qi Lianjia disappeared, geniuses emerged in large numbers, such as Huangfu Qingtian. The new generation replaced the old. There was no lack of geniuses in the 3,000 provinces. Everyone's attention would naturally be on the newly risen top prodigies. Who would pay attention to a person who had already disappeared? These top prodigies greeted each other. At this time, a group of people came from the Chilean clan. It was for a deacon named Qi Lian Fu. This deacon was the great deacon of the Chilean clan's outer court. It was said that he was originally a slave who raised spiritual beasts. Later on, because he hooked up with a young master of the Chilean clan, he was promoted step by step. Greetings, young masters. Qi Lian Fu paid his respects to the geniuses from the top clans. Tip. These top prodigies knew how to act. Their subordinates took out the gifts they had prepared in advance and put them in storage bags, then handed them to Qi Lian Fu. Thank you, young masters. Qi Lian Fu smiled and put away the treasures. Then, the group of people walked into the Chilean clan. Suddenly, a gloomy and angry voice filled with killing intent sounded, "Boy, it's you. It's you." When Huangfu Qingming saw Lin Feng, his eyes were full of anger. Lin Feng patted his clothes and said, "So what if it's me? What do you want?" Shuelingyue, Mu Zikuan, and the others looked at Lin Feng. They were confused. Who was this boy? He was just a yin-yang cultivator. Why was Huangfu Qingming gnashing his teeth when he saw him? It shouldn't be. Huangfu Qingming was at the 6th layer of the creation realm. He could kill this boy with one palm strike. But now, Huangfu Qingming's expression was filled with hatred and fear. Could it be that this guy was hiding his cultivation, and he had a conflict with Huangfu Qingming, and Huangfu Qingming had suffered a loss? All kinds of thoughts flashed through their minds. However, Shuelingyue and the others looked like they were watching a good show. In any case, they weren't afraid of making a big deal out of it. The bigger the trouble, the better. Who is he? Huangfu Qingqiong asked. Huangfu Qingming whispered, "He's the one in the heavenly tribulation beast territory." Huangfu Qingqiong's eyes flashed coldly. Many of the Yuhua celestial dynasty's young experts had died in the heavenly tribulation beast territory. They had all been killed by one person. It was Lin Feng. The two sides met. It could be said that when enemies met, their eyes blazed with hatred. Who is this person? Qi Lian Fu muttered in his heart. Looking at Huangfu Qingqiong and Huangfu Qingming, it was obvious that Lin Feng wasn't a simple person. How had Qi Lian Fu been able to climb from a servant to his current position? Not only was he smooth and slick, but he was also good at reading people's expressions. Qi Lian Fu asked the guards around him, and one of them said, "I don't know. He just arrived." Is he also a guest of the first young master? It's just that the first young master didn't invite such a person. Qi Lian Fu was very puzzled. They weren't the only ones who were puzzled. Even Shuelingyue, Mu Zikuan, Nangong Bieli, Luo Yuchan, and the others were puzzled. Lin Feng had obviously come to the Chilean clan, but who had invited him? Chilean Jie? That didn't seem right. Chilean Jie's gathering was a small one, and only a few people had been invited. Obviously, Lin Feng wasn't among them. Then who was it? Was it another young master of the Chilean clan? Brat, you've got guts. You offended the Yuhua celestial dynasty, yet you still dare to come to Holy Stone City. Huangfu Qingqiong sneered. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Isn't the Yuhua celestial dynasty a power of the immortal continent? What? Is Holy Stone City also part of the Yuhua celestial dynasty's territory?" When Lin Feng said this, many people's expressions changed. Holy Stone City was part of the Chilean clan's sphere of influence. Although there were many other powers, most of them were subordinate to the Chilean clan. Lin Feng's words were actually saying that the Yuhua celestial dynasty had even subdued the Chilean clan. This was indeed a crucial point. The Chilean clan's strength wasn't inferior to the Yuhua celestial dynasties. If Huangfu Qingqiong said yes, the two powers might immediately fight to the death. Brat, don't try to sow discord and ruin the relationship between the Yuhua celestial dynasty and the Chilean clan. Huangfu Qingqiong said with a gloomy expression. Qi Lian Fu was so scared that his back was covered in cold sweat. He muttered in his heart, "Where did this brat come from?" He dared to say anything. He hurriedly tried to smooth things over and said, "The young masters are angry. The first young master is still waiting inside. Please don't let him wait for too long. Then, Qilian Fu looked at Lin Feng and asked, May I know which young master this young master wants to see? I'm not here to see the Qilian clan's young master. Lin Feng smiled faintly. Then, who did you come to the Qilian clan to see? Qilian Fu asked doubtfully. Lin Feng is here to visit. Lin Feng shouted. Chapter 934. Is this kid crazy? He actually dares to shout like this outside the Qilian clan? Isn't he afraid of disturbing the cultivation of the Qilian clan's ancestors? Moreover, the ancient overlord-level expert, Qilian Sun, is also inside the clan. Isn't offending an ancient overlord like Qilian Sun a dead end? Shuelingyue, Mu Zikuan, and the others were also astonished. Huangfu Qingqiong and Huangfu Qingming were slightly stunned, but then they sneered. Qilian Fu was so scared that his entire body was trembling. If he disturbed the ancestors' cultivation, he might even be implicated. Boom! At this moment, a terrifying aura surged out from the depths of the Qilian clan. More than a dozen cultivators flew over. One of them was the ancient overlord expert, Qilian Sun. There were also a few ancestor-level figures, each with a tyrannical and unfathomable cultivation. Among these ancestor-level figures, some were from the Qilian clan, and some were Qilian Sun's friends. The ancestor has personally appeared. Could it be that the ancestor is angry because he was disturbed? He personally came out to deal with that young master? Qilian Fu couldn't help but think. He only felt bitter in his heart, and he wanted to cry but had no tears. He prayed in his heart that he wouldn't be involved in this matter. Great. Let's see how this kid dies. Huangfu Qingqiong and Huangfu Qingming both had sneers on their faces. Disturbing the cultivation of an ancient overlord. Wasn't this courting death? He couldn't blame others for courting death. They couldn't wait to see Qilian Sun slap Lin Feng to death. That would also save them a lot of trouble. This guy is finished. Shuelingyue, Mu Zikuan, Nangong Bieli, Luo Yuchan, and the others all shook their heads. They felt that Lin Feng's ending might be very bad this time. The ancient overlords didn't even want a reason to kill. Not to mention, Lin Feng had even disturbed an ancient overlord. In the distance, Qilian Jia and the other young juniors of the Qilian clan also flew out. Where did this brat come from? He's so reckless to make a ruckus outside our Qilian clan. Even the ancestor is furious now. How are these guards doing their jobs? How can anyone get close to our Qilian clan? If they encounter suspicious people, they should drive them out. This wouldn't have happened. The most important thing right now is to calm the ancestors' anger. The juniors of the Qilian family were discussing as they flew out. However, they were still discussing how to appease the old ancestors' anger. Then, something happened that made them extremely astonished. Even before Qilian Sun arrived, his voice had already traveled out. I've been waiting for the moon and the stars. My little friend has finally arrived. Hoping for the moon and the stars to come? Was it really Qilian Sun, a powerhouse at the level of an ancient giant? Did I encounter a fake Qilian? Many people naturally knew that it wasn't a fake Qilian, but it was precisely because of this that they felt shocked and their jaws almost dropped to the ground. Who is that kid? How could he possibly have such prestige? Everyone was stunned. Qilian arrived in front of Lin Feng and grabbed Lin Feng with both hands. His face was full of excitement, which was absolutely true. All the juniors of the Qilian family were stunned. They were all dumbfounded. No one had expected such a thing to happen. How could the old ancestor be so enthusiastic about a cultivator who was younger than them? Qilian Fu, who had been worried about his future and was trembling with fear, suddenly had his eyes lit up. Damn, who is this young man? Why is the old ancestor so enthusiastic about him? Qilian Fu didn't care who this person was, but he knew that he was safe now. He let out a long sigh. We haven't seen each other for half a year, but you're still as elegant as ever, said Lin Feng with a smile. Haha, my little friend, you flatter me. Come, let me introduce you to some friends. These two are the two great elders of the Qilian family, Qilian Gu and Qilian Yi. We've been friends for a long time. The two of them cupped their fists and smiled. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said, "Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. This is the great elder of the Cavern of Time, Zhang Dingdian. This is the great elder of the Cavern of Moonwater, Mo Shiyu. This is the great Xia Empire's Jian Shichong. This is the Taisher Dao sect's Zhang Daoling. This is the Falling Star sect's Gua Tianming." After the introductions, both sides cupped their fists and greeted each other. However, at that moment, a strange voice sounded. "Brother Qilian, this kid is only in his early 20s. So what if he's quite strong? Is he qualified to be treated like this by us? Is he qualified to be on equal footing with us? Which one of us isn't an old ancestor of a sect? If a mediocre cultivator like him is on equal footing with us just because he knows how to discern stones, where will we put our faces?" said Gua Tianming with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Qi Lian-sun's expression suddenly sank. Qi Lian-sun was about to say something, but Lin Feng had already stepped forward. He let out a long howl and said, "Gua Tianming, your name isn't very good. Who can predict destiny? Even the ancient gods didn't dare say that they knew their own destiny." "What's that kid doing?" Shuelingyue and the others were astonished. Lin Feng was actually mocking an old ancestor? Wasn't that too audacious? Did he want to die? "Kid, you dare mock me?" said Gua Tianming gloomily. "Mock? I'm not mocking you. I'm just telling you that you have to change your name today. I won't allow you to be called Gua Tianming." Lin Feng put his hands behind his back. The corners of many people's mouths twitched violently. Asking an old ancestor to change his name? Wasn't this a slap to the old ancestor's face? No one thought that Lin Feng would dare to say such words. "You're courting death." Gua Tianming roared and slapped at Lin Feng. "He's making his move. An old ancestor is making his move. Let's see how that kid dies." Huangfu Qingqiang and Huangfu Qingming's eyes suddenly lit up. Lin Feng sneered, "Gua Tianming, you dare to show off in front of me with your little strength? Today, I'll let you know my strength." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng stepped forward in the air. "Oh, the great Tao of Death. In this mortal world, there are lowly ants who disrespect the Tao of Death and blaspheme the dignity of the Tao of Death. Please descend with the power of death and punish this lowly creature." Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, a loud sound shook the sky. A large river. It flew over from the outer realm. It pierced through the real world and the world of death. The large river lingered around Lin Feng's body. The power of death descended upon the world. Everyone felt that when the large river appeared, their lives began to flow away rapidly. Hurry up and retreat. Many experts' expressions suddenly changed. Even the old ancestor-level experts' expressions changed slightly. That long river of death was too terrifying. Lin Feng was like a god of death descending upon the world. He stepped on the air and walked forward. The long river of death traversed the sky. Bang! Chapter 935. How is this possible? Exclamations of disbelief rang out one after another. Even top geniuses like Shuelingyue, Mu Zikuan, Nangong Bieli, Huangfu Qingqiang, and Luo Yuchun were far from reaching the level of a patriarch. However, Lin Feng had sent Gua Tianming flying with a single move. Is this guy pretending to be weak? Only then did the crowd come back to their senses. Everybody was looking at Lin Feng in a different way. He was someone who could suppress a patriarch. The world of cultivators. Age didn't matter. Lin Feng was young. Lin Feng was strong. Originally, Qi Lian-sun and his patriarch-level friends were on good terms with Lin Feng because they valued Lin Feng's ability to identify stones. In the future, they might need Lin Feng's help. But now, they saw Lin Feng as someone on the same level as them. Heroes don't ask about their birth. Experts don't ask about their age. Everyone knew that Lin Feng, who was just in his early 20s, had amazing potential. "Little brat, I'll take your life." Gua Tianming, who had been humiliated, roared angrily. The aura in his body rose wildly. He jumped up and charged at Lin Feng again. "Both of you are my friends. Give me some face today, and let this matter end here. How about it?" Qi Lian-sun stepped forward and released a gentle force, separating Lin Feng and Gua Tianming. The cultivators of the ancient giants were powerful. They easily separated the two. Today, I'll give Brother Qilian some face and spare this brat for now, Guo Tianming said with a gloomy expression. Lin Feng smiled faintly and said, You should be lucky. You don't have to change your name today. Shui Lingyue was amused. She looked at Lin Feng curiously. How could this guy be so infuriating? Looking at Guo Tianming's expression, she knew how angry he was. I'm too lazy to argue with you, said Guo Tianming while glancing at Lin Feng. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Lin Feng looked indifferent and didn't say anything. Young friend, please come in. Qilian Sun invited him. Senior, please. Lin Feng made a gesture. The group of people entered the Qilian clan. At this time, everyone came back to their senses. Who is that guy? He actually has the strength to suppress an ancestor. He's so young, yet he's able to talk to an ancestor as an equal. There's no lack of monsters in this world. Who knows what kind of terrifying existence he will become in the future? Many people had seen Lin Feng and Guo Tianming's battle. They were all astonished. Even now, they were still talking about it. The news spread like wildfire as if it had grown wings. Many ancestor-level cultivators were even more moved. Ever since they saw the little stone saint in the immortal town, they were shocked. Now, many ancestors were waiting for the little stone saint to come to Holy Stone City. The little stone saint is really worthy of being called a god. Not only does he have a deep understanding of stone materials, but he also has the strength to suppress ancestors. How powerful will he be in the future? Maybe he will become a god in the future. Thinking about this, the ancestors of the major forces couldn't hold back their excitement. They quickly went out of their rooms and asked people to prepare a carriage. They were going to the Qilian clan to see the little stone saint. Lin Feng followed Qilian Sun and the others to the living room. A beautiful maidservant served the spirit tea. Young friend, how does the spirit tea taste? Qilian Sun said with a smile. Lin Feng took a sip and suddenly felt a fragrance fill his mouth. Before the spirit tea entered his stomach, a tyrannical spirit energy began to flow in his body. Good spirit tea. It could make one's cultivation advance by leaps and bounds. Of course, good spirit tea was also very precious. Good tea. I've never tasted spirit tea with such astonishing spirit energy. Lin Feng said, Brother Lin, don't you think each leaf looks like a dragon swimming in the water? Qilian said with a smile. Now that Lin Feng's strength surpassed Guo Tianming's, these ancestors considered Lin Feng as an existence of the same level. They called him Brother Lin. Qilian Sun was an eternal overlord, so he still called Lin Feng young friend. If an ancestor called Lin Feng young friend, it would be too arrogant. Lin Feng carefully observed, and it was just as Qilian said. The tea leaves looked like dragons. Could it be the dragon spirit tea? Lin Feng thought of a legendary tea leaf and couldn't help but be surprised. While Qilian Sun was entertaining Lin Feng, Qilian Jie's small gathering also went on as scheduled. Everyone was talking about Lin Feng at the gathering. Shui Lingyue asked, Brother Qilian, who is that young master Lin Feng? Qilian Jie smiled bitterly and said, I don't know, and I've never heard anyone talk about him. However, he seems to be acquainted with the ancestor, so he should be a friend of the ancestor. Many geniuses' mouths twitched slightly. In the eyes of outsiders, these people were high and mighty figures. They were even stronger than many of the older generation's experts. Wherever they went, they were like stars surrounding the moon. However, after seeing Lin Feng today, they all felt uncomfortable. In the eyes of the ancestors and eternal overlords, they were still juniors. Juniors like them had to pay respects to the ancestors and eternal overlords. However, Lin Feng looked even younger than them. But now, he was already on the same level as the patriarchs and ancient giants. Although they felt uncomfortable, they didn't feel jealous. When the gap between them was too big, they couldn't be jealous anymore. Luo Yuqin said, Brother Huangfu, you seem to know that kid? Huangfu Qingqiang and Huangfu Qingming's expressions turned gloomy, but they didn't answer. Seeing the brothers' ugly expressions, they didn't continue asking. After leaving the Qilian clan, Huangfu Qingqiang said in a deep voice, Is the cultivator who fought with third brother also called Lin Feng? Huangfu Qingming said, That's right. Does Big Brother think that this Lin Feng is the Lin Feng who fought with Third Brother for 10 years? No way, that Lin Feng should be very weak, and the desolate region is so far away from the star region. What is he doing here? We'll know if it's true after we find someone to investigate. Investigate? We must find out everything about this kid. Huang Fu Qingqiong said coldly. Yes, I'll tell my subordinates to find out his identity as soon as possible, Huang Fu Qingming said. Okay. Huang Fu Qingqiong nodded. Chapter 936. In the main hall, Qilian Sun smiled and said, That's right, it's dragon spirit tea. It's produced from an ancient tea tree, and it's extremely rare. There are only a few dragon spirit trees in a forbidden zone, and they produce very little dragon spirit tea every year. They're sold by the leaves, and a single leaf is worth more than 10,000 top-grade spirit stones. Lin Feng was speechless. That price was too high. It was frighteningly expensive. But when he thought about it, every year, the people who came to pick the dragon spirit tea had to risk their lives. Who knew how many people had to die to pick the dragon spirit tea? There was a reason why the dragon spirit tea was so expensive. Senior, you're a very particular person. Lin Feng smiled. Qilian Sun said, I only have 2 hobbies, stone gambling and tea tasting. I've made a fool of myself in front of you. Lin Feng said, Hobbies are the most precious things. Without hobbies, life would be too boring. Senior, you have 2 hobbies, and I can't wait to envy you. How could I dare to make fun of you? Haha, you're right. Hobbies are indeed things to cherish. Qilian Sun couldn't help but laugh. Yuan Chang said, Normally, when we come to see Elder Qi, he's not willing to take out dragon spirit tea to entertain us. Today, we're able to drink dragon spirit tea because of Brother Lin. Everyone laughed and chatted for a while. In the eyes of outsiders, these old ancestor-level figures and ancient giants were high and mighty. In front of Lin Feng, they were very amiable and approachable. This was the so-called social circle. People who didn't belong to the same social circle couldn't blend in with others. People who didn't belong to the same social circle always felt mysterious and unfathomable. But when they did blend in, the people they came into contact with might be different from what they imagined. These patriarchs and ancient powerhouses were high and mighty in the outside world. They didn't talk or smile, and they all looked dignified and dignified. But in their own social circles, they also joked with each other. Lin Feng said, Recently, more and more strong cultivators have come to Holy Stone City for the primeval godstones. I wonder when they'll appear. How many are there? Qilian Sun said, Something happened on the way, so the primordial godly stone arrived late. But according to the news we received, the matter has been resolved. I estimate that the primordial godly stone will be transported to Holy Stone City in half a month at most. Lin Feng said, I recall that you also transported 3 primordial godstones back then. May I know where they are now? Qilian Sun said, Actually, those 3 pieces of stone were mixed up with the eyes of fishes. Although they were extremely precious and could be passed off as genuine, they weren't genuine primordial divine stones. Lin Feng nodded. He guessed that the various powers that organized the sacred stone debate this time were worried that the primordial godstones would be stolen. So they let experts like Qilian Sun transport fake primordial godstones to disturb the other party. Young friend, you can stay in our Chilean family for a while. If possible, I hope you can help us choose some stones. Of course, we know the rules. Qilian Chuan said. Lin Feng's rule was that if he wanted to choose a stone, he could. Use the laws. Lin Feng said indifferently, There's no problem with choosing stones, but the rules need to be changed. Young friend, what do you mean? Qilian Sun looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. Lin Feng said, While the primordial godly stone is here, I will choose 3 stones every day. The highest bidder will win. Qilian Sun nodded and said, With your ability, there's no problem. I will help you take care of this matter. Thank you, Senior. Later, I will choose a few stones for you for free. Lin Feng smiled. The other ancestors looked at Qilian Sun enviously. They had all heard of Lin Feng's ability to choose stones. Qilian Sun was probably going to strike it rich this time. A few stones didn't necessarily mean that every stone could be cut into something good. Only one stone could be cut out. It was enough to be priceless. Qi Lian Sun revealed a happy expression. He had spent so much effort to help Lin Feng. Firstly, he wanted to build a good relationship with Lin Feng. Secondly, he wanted to see if Lin Feng would feel that he had worked hard and then help him choose a few stones. Now, it seemed that Lin Feng really knew how to deal with people. Young, powerful strength, emotional intelligence, and such a high level. Qi Lian Sun was looking forward to what level of expert Lin Feng would grow into in the future. Jin Cheng Wu, the ancestor of the Jin Cheng family, requests an audience. Situ Haojia, the ancestor of the Situ family of Changzhou, requests an audience. Mu Hongba, the ancestor of the Snow Eagle sect of the Nanshan region, requests an audience. At this moment, voices came from outside one after another. They were all old ancestor-level powerhouses. These people seemed to have heard the news and rushed over. Qi Lian Sun said with a smile. Lin Feng smiled and said, regarding the auction, Senior will need to personally explain it to them, and it's not convenient for me to participate. Little friend, don't worry. Qi Lian Sun nodded. Then, he ordered Qi Lian Yi and Qi Lian Gu to go and welcome the ancestor-level experts. In Holy Stone City, there were many ancestor-level experts sitting in divine chariots. All kinds of strange beasts were pulling the divine chariots towards the Qi Lian family. What's going on? Why are so many ancestor-level experts heading to the Qi Lian family? Many people were extremely puzzled. You don't know about this? It's rumored that the Little Stone Saint is already in the Qi Lian family. The Little Stone Saint? Is it the monstrous genius who suppressed Gua Tianming? That's right, it's him. He's really a god. His ability to identify stones is unparalleled in the world. He's called the Little Stone Saint, and his strength is so terrifying. I really don't know how he cultivates. Many people were discussing and sighing with emotion. There was going to be another monstrous genius in the world. In a few years, the once-a-decade battle of the 3,000 provinces would begin again. That Little Stone Saint was probably going to shine, right? He might even be able to kill his way into the top 10. At that time, he would be the center of attention. Lin Feng met with the ancestor-level cultivators. They exchanged pleasantries. At night, Qi Lian Sun held a banquet to entertain the ancestor-level cultivators. Of course, Qi Lian Sun didn't forget to guide the younger generation of the clan and let them see the world. More than a dozen outstanding younger generation of the Qi Lian clan were also called over. They served tea and water for these old seniors and waited on the side. But obviously, the focus was on Lin Feng. The younger generation of the Qi Lian family saw Lin Feng, who was a few years younger than them, being surrounded by a group of ancestor-level cultivators. It was an indescribable feeling in their hearts. Originally, many people were very proud. But now, they all put away their pride and made a decision to cultivate diligently. Obviously, these people had been stimulated by Lin Feng and their fighting spirit had been aroused. Perhaps this was the reason why Qi Lian Sun called them over and had them serve him here. Qi Lian Sun, this kind of ancient giant, had also come from a young age. He naturally knew how to encourage the younger generation of the clan to put away their pride and cultivate diligently. After the banquet, Qi Lian Sun brought Lin Feng to a courtyard to rest. Qi Lian Sun and the ancestor-level cultivators moved to the guest hall to discuss matters. Lin Feng had just finished tidying up and was about to rest when he received a report from a servant. Lin Feng was puzzled. Who would send him a letter in the middle of the night? Chapter 937. Lord Lin, Red River Street, Misty Rain House. Meet you tonight. Just a few simple words. At the end, there were 3 words, Lu Huaxian. Lu Huaxian asked me to meet in the middle of the night. Has she thought it through? Lin Feng muttered to himself. He felt that something was off. Moreover, this Lu Huaxian was so beautiful that it was suffocating. However, she was too two-faced. If he didn't guard against her, he might be tricked. Of course, Lin Feng was bold because of his skills. If Lu Huaxian dared to play any tricks, he wouldn't mind forcing himself on her to punish her. After all, if he didn't sleep with such a beautiful woman, she would be taken advantage of by other men sooner or later. Lin Feng felt that he was too evil. However, he was a man. If he didn't have any thoughts after seeing a beautiful woman, could he still be considered a man? Red River Street was very famous in Holy Stone City because it was a river in the city. On both sides of the river, weeping willows formed a forest. There were many brothel boats in the river. This was one of the most famous brothels in the city. A high-class brothel like Myriad Flower House was only accessible to people of high status. The brothel boats in the Red River were for ordinary people. Moreover, the girls in Myriad Flower House only sold their skills and not their bodies. They went there to play elegantly. There were also many beautiful girls on the brothel boats in the Red River. As long as you paid, you could play with them however you wanted. Not everyone liked to play elegantly. Misty Rain House was a very famous brothel in the Red River. Lin Feng didn't know why Lu Huaxian would ask him to meet here. However, no matter what Lu Huaxian's goal was or what tricks she might play, Lin Feng didn't care. This was because he had absolute confidence in his own strength. In Lin Feng's opinion, in front of absolute strength, all schemes and tricks were useless. Young master, we have many beautiful ladies here. They come in all shapes and sizes and can satisfy any of your needs. What kind of lady are you looking for? A young woman swayed her slender waist as she walked over and asked coquettishly. Lin Feng said, I'm looking for Lu Huaxian. Is she a lady here? Could it be that you are young Master Lin? Asked the woman with a smile. Lin Feng nodded. The young woman replied, Please follow me, Lin Gongzi. Lin Feng followed the young woman to a room on the 4th floor of the Misty Rain Tower. Miss, Lin Gongzi is here. The young woman said from outside. All right, you can leave now. Lu Huaxian's voice came from inside. Yes. After the young woman received the order, she complied and left. At this moment, Lu Huaxian's voice rang out again. Lin Gongzi, please come in for a chat. Although he didn't know what Lu Huaxian was up to, how could a man like Lin Feng be afraid of a woman like Lu Huaxian? He pushed the door open and entered. The room was decorated in a pink color, and it emitted a faint fragrance. The room was divided into an inner and outer room. There was no one in the outer room, while a charming figure could be vaguely seen on the bed in the inner room. It should be Lu Huaxian. Lin Feng closed the door and said with a faint smile, The more I interact with Lu Huaxian, the more shocked I am. I didn't think that Lu Huaxian would be involved with this brothel. Could it be that nothing good comes out of a dog's mouth? Lu Huaxian coldly snorted. Lin Feng said, I heard that Lu Huaxian is the #1 beauty in the Lingyun prefecture and has countless admirers. Do your admirers know that Lu Huaxian is such a carefree person? Lu Huaxian was as beautiful as a fairy in front of the world, a woman who was as beautiful as a poem or a painting. She was so perfect that no one could find a single flaw in her. However, the Lu Huaxian in front of Lin Feng was a different Lu Huaxian. She said whatever she wanted to say, and she could even curse. It was a complete contrast to her original otherworldly image. However, Lin Feng could understand that many people had two versions of themselves in their hearts. One was the version in other people's eyes, and the other was the version in their own eyes. As for the version in their eyes, they wouldn't normally show it to others. But now, Lu Huaxian was only showing the version in her eyes to Lin Feng. Lu Huaxian said, Say whatever you want. No one will believe you anyway. It seems like you're a dead pig that isn't afraid of boiling water. After I exposed your true face, you revealed your evil side. Lin Feng curled his lips. You're the pig. You're the evil one. Lu Huaxian said unhappily. This Misty Rain Tower isn't a simple brothel. Why did you invite me here? What are you scheming against me for? Lin Feng asked with a smile. Lu Huaxian said, Don't slander a good person. Okay? When did I scheme against you? After a pause, Lu Huaxian said, What do you think is wrong with this Misty Rain Tower? Lin Feng thought for a moment and said, It's a rather strange feeling, but I can't pinpoint exactly what's wrong. Lu Huaxian said, Your intuition is really sharp. The Misty Rain Tower is indeed hiding a secret. Do you want me to tell you? Not interested, Lin Feng said indifferently. Lu Huaxian choked and said angrily, If you're not interested, then why are you talking about the Misty Rain Tower? Lin Feng said, I'm happy to do so. The sound of Lu Huaxian gnashing her teeth came from inside the room. It was obvious that Lu Huaxian was trying her best to suppress the anger in her heart. Lin Feng said, "Do you have something to say or not? If there's nothing, I'll leave first. My time is very precious, and I don't want to waste it here." Of course there's something. At this moment, Lu Huaxian walked out. The Lu Huaxian in front of him was completely different from the Lu Huaxian he saw before. The original Lu Huaxian was dressed in snow-white clothes and had an otherworldly aura. Now, Lu Huaxian was wearing a pink gauze dress. Some of the key parts of her body were even faintly discernible. She was full of seduction and provocation. Her eyes were charming. Her actions were frivolous. She completely displayed the charm of a woman. If there was a word to describe the current Lu Huaxian vixen, that was the best word to describe her. "What are you trying to do? Seduce me?" Lin Feng fiercely glanced at Lu Huaxian's hot body. "If I said that I invited Lin Gongzi here today to seduce Lin Gongzi, would Lin Gongzi believe me?" said Lu Huaxian while smiling. She then walked towards Lin Feng while swaying her hips. This Lu Huaxian was not only two-faced, but she was also full of secrets. Lin Feng even suspected her background and identity. "So what if I believe you? So what if I don't?" Lin Feng said indifferently. "If you believe me, then I'll have sex with you tonight. If you don't believe me, then I have a way to make you believe me." Lu Huaxian said sweetly. "I don't believe you," Lin Feng said. Chapter 938. It was impossible for him to not have any thoughts when such a delicate and seductive body was sitting in his arms. However, Lin Feng was extremely confused. Even if Lu Huaxian was two-faced and had two different personalities, she wouldn't sacrifice so much to seduce him, right? But the reality was that Lu Huaxian was sitting in his arms, twisting her fiery body. Extremely seductive. Lin Feng wasn't a man who could sit still. But Lin Feng was rational. He felt that something was wrong. Between a woman and rationality, Lin Feng would obviously choose rationality. If it was another man, he might not be able to resist the temptation and directly press Lu Huaxian on the table for a good show. But Lin Feng's self-control was very strong. This was because Lin Feng had experienced more than just one or two women. So when facing a peerless beauty like Lu Huaxian, Lin Feng was still able to control his inner desires. "It's a long night. Shouldn't we do something?" At this time, Lu Huaxian, who was in Lin Feng's arms, suddenly spoke. Her phoenix eyes were blurred, as if she was waiting for him to do whatever he wanted. "No, there's definitely a problem." Lin Feng felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't figure out what was wrong. This was the most terrifying thing. Lin Feng simply closed his eyes and activated the immemorial dragon-esque elephant art to calm himself down. Gradually, Lin Feng's mood calmed down. Then, Lin Feng activated the heavenly demon snake's eye. The power of the heavenly demon snake's eye poured into Lin Feng's eyes. Shua shua. Lin Feng opened his eyes. Lu Huaxian, who was sitting in his arms, disappeared. The pink room also turned into an ordinary room, and Lu Huaxian, who was wearing a white dress, was still sitting not far away like an otherworldly fairy. She looked at him in astonishment, as if she didn't think that he would be able to recover from the charm technique. "Who?" Lin Feng took a deep breath. The worldly 3,000 years was really just a dream. I knew something was wrong, and my guess was right. Lin Feng's voice was faint, and his eyes were as calm as an ancient well. No one knew what Lin Feng was thinking right now. You. Lu Huaxian wanted to say something. She had too many doubts, too much shock, and too much confusion. Her ancient and powerful divine ability was actually broken by Lin Feng. This was the great bewitching technique, one of the 3,000 great das, a divine ability that had never failed before. "Fairy Lu, you're really a scheming person," Lin Feng said indifferently. Lu Huaxian said, "Lin Gongzi's methods are truly shocking. Now, we can sit down and have a good talk." "It's just that she doesn't look like she's in the mood to talk." Lin Feng waved his right hand, and densely packed runes interweaved, sealing off the entire room. "What a powerful spiritual array. You're also a spirit array master. Could it be that you want to attack me by sealing off the room? The Misty Rain Tower is even more terrifying than I imagined." Lu Huaxian didn't seem to be worried that Lin Feng would attack her. I sealed the room to prevent the walls from eavesdropping. Lin Feng smiled indifferently and walked to Lu Huaxian's side. Lu Huaxian's body tensed up, as if she was guarding against Lin Feng. However, when she saw that Lin Feng didn't intend to attack, she relaxed a lot. Now, can you tell me about your other identity and the power behind the Misty Rain Tower? Lin Feng said indifferently. Lu Huaxian was the young miss of the Lu family in the Lingyun prefecture. However, it was obvious that Lu Huaxian had another identity. Perhaps even her family didn't know about this identity. Lu Huaxian said, "The power behind the Misty Rain Tower is called Heaven." Heaven? What kind of power is that? This is the first time I've heard of it. Lin Feng muttered. Have you heard of the 9 underworlds? Lu Huaxian asked. Lin Feng had naturally heard of the 9 underworlds. The 9 underworlds assassin dynasty had a long history. Lin Feng had even been assassinated by the 9 underworlds assassins twice. However, both groups of assassins had been killed by Lin Feng. It had been a while since the 9 underworlds assassins had come looking for him. However, Lin Feng knew that the 9 underworlds assassins would definitely appear again. As long as the 9 underworlds assassins accepted a mission, they would complete the mission no matter the cost. Nine Nether's reputation was second to none among the various assassin organizations because of their perseverance and professionalism in never giving up until they killed their targets. Lin Feng said, "Now that you mention the 9 underworlds, could it be that Heaven is also an assassin organization?" That's right. Heaven is an assassin organization. Back then, the 9 underworlds assassins were only a branch of Heaven. However, the 9 underworlds assassins betrayed Heaven and poisoned more than 10 of Heaven's top figures. Then, they took advantage of the fact that Heaven's headquarters had not received any news and organized a gathering. During the gathering, they poisoned a large number of Heaven's middle and upper echelons. Lin Feng said, "The best way to climb up the ranks is to get rid of the power above you." The 9 underworlds assassins were able to get rid of the giant Heaven and replace it. It's not easy. For countless years, the 9 underworlds assassins have been encircling and suppressing Heaven's cultivators. Heaven's cultivators could only conceal their identities. After so many years, Heaven is no longer an assassin organization. However, the Heaven's cultivators have not forgotten the unforgettable hatred. The blood of their ancestors cannot be spilled in vain. Lu Huaxian said, "So, what does this have to do with me?" Lin Feng asked indifferently. Lu Huaxian said, "Heaven already knows your identity. The 9 underworlds assassins have tried to kill you. Unless you die, the 9 underworlds assassins will continue to send experts after you. You guys are very efficient with your elimination. So, what do you want to do? Rope me into Heaven?" Lin Feng said with a faint smile, "I do have such a plan. What do you think? You can tell me." Lu Huaxian said, "What benefits do I get from joining Heaven?" Lin Feng asked. "Missions. Heaven has many missions, but don't worry, they aren't missions to kill people. If you complete these missions, you can even obtain the 3,000 Great Das." Lu Huaxian said, 3,000 Great Das. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He said, "The charm technique you used just now almost made me lose myself. Could it be the great charm technique of the 3,000 Great Das?" That's right. It's the great charm technique. This is the reward I received for completing a mission. Lu Huaxian said. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and said, "It seems like you completed an unbelievable mission to obtain such a terrifying ability. May I know what kind of mission you completed?" "According to the rules, I can't say." Lu Huaxian stood up and said, "If a new mission appears, I'll contact you." Lu Huaxian obviously wanted to see him out. Lin Feng also stood up, but he didn't leave. Instead, he quickly pulled Lu Huaxian's hot body into his embrace. Lu Huaxian struggled violently. Her beautiful face was pink. She was anxious, embarrassed, and angry. She said coldly, "What are you doing? Let go of me. Didn't you say you wanted to have sex with me?" Lin Feng smiled and looked at Lu Huaxian's beautiful face. This woman used the great charm technique on him. She obviously didn't have good intentions. Lin Feng felt that he should teach Lu Huaxian an unforgettable lesson. Otherwise, would this woman really think that he had a good temper? "I was just joking with you." Lu Huaxian said anxiously. She wanted to push Lin Feng away, but she felt that her body was powerless. Chapter 939. If you dare to go overboard, I won't let you off. Lu Huaxian was completely flustered. She had never had such contact with a man before. This made her unusually angry. However, her body was weak and she didn't have much strength to resist. Why won't you let me off? In terms of strength, you're not my match, but in terms of connections, I can call a group of patriarchs to work for me in a matter of minutes. Lin Feng said with a smile. He pinched Lu Huaxian's delicate face. It felt pretty good. You bastard! Lu Huaxian shouted with a red face. She raised her leg and aimed it at Lin Feng's most vital part. Lin Feng clamped his legs. He directly clamped Lu Huaxian's long legs. Lin Feng said unhappily, You're going to ruin my happiness for the rest of my life. I'll cripple you. How many sisters can I save? I'm doing this on behalf of the heavens. Werewolf. Before Lu Huaxian could say the word Dao, her eyes widened. Her expression was filled with disbelief. For a moment, she was completely stunned. She was actually forcefully kissed. Her first time. It was taken away just like that. Lu Huaxian only felt that the power in her body was beginning to condense. She just wanted to slap Lin Feng to death, this bastard who dared to take advantage of her. When Lu Huaxian's palm came, Lin Feng was already quickly retreating. Lu Huaxian's palm missed and she staggered, almost falling to the ground. Lin Feng said, Be careful, okay? If you're so careless, my heart will ache. You bastard! You bastard! Lu Huaxian quickly wiped her lips, as if she wanted to wipe away all the breath that Lin Feng left on her lips. I gave my first kiss to you. This is your fortune from your previous life. Lin Feng's face didn't turn red at all. Do you think I'll believe your nonsense? I'm going to kill you. As Lu Huaxian finished speaking, a treasured sword appeared in her hand. Said Lin Feng, You plotted against me first. If someone else had plotted against me, I would have slapped them to death. I just had a taste of your lips, that's all. Is it necessary to make such a big fuss over such a small matter? Do you want to kill me? You're still talking, you bastard. I'll chop you to death. The furious Lu Huaxian wielded her sword and slashed towards Lin Feng, but Lin Feng easily dodged her attack. Then Lin Feng ran out of the room. Lu Huaxian chased after him with her sword. Lin Feng shouted, She's trying to kill her husband, bastard. I'll kill you. Lu Huaxian chased after him like a tigress. Many people were pointing and gossiping. Lin Feng said, Do you think it's easy for me? Ever since I married this tigress, I have no freedom, no pocket money, and no status. It wasn't easy for me to save up some money, but this tigress came looking for me. Who can save me? I'm so pitiful. F***CK. Your wife is so beautiful, and yet you're still looking for other women. Are you blind? That's right, brother. It's not that I want to criticize you, but with such a beautiful wife, what's wrong with suffering a little? It's worth it. Don't talk about living like a slave. I'm even willing to live like a dog. Brother, hurry up and apologize to your wife. How can you bear to make such a beautiful wife angry? Sister, your husband is really a scumbag. He's already someone with a family background, yet he still goes out to whore. Why don't you dump him and come with me? I'm a good man. I don't gamble or whore. Moreover, I'm handsome and elegant. Many brothel patrons started talking at once. Some tried to persuade Lin Feng, while others tried to poach Lin Feng. Shut up, I'm not his wife. Lu Huaxian shouted angrily. She directly slashed a dozen times at the brothel patrons who were talking at once. Many people tried to dodge in a sorry state. The stairs in all directions were cut down, and many people fell down, dizzy. Some unlucky brothel patrons were even injured by the sword chi. They cried and screamed miserably. Seeing Lu Huaxian being so unreasonable, the brothel patrons were scared half to death. How could they dare to say anything? Wife, if you're angry, take it out on me. Why do you have to hurt innocent people? Lin Feng shouted loudly. Lin Feng, you shameless bastard. Lu Huaxian slashed at Lin Feng. 100-meter-long sword light condensed and slashed at Lin Feng. Oh my god, she's trying to kill him. No wonder this brother has such a beautiful wife and is still looking for other women. No matter how beautiful she is, he wouldn't dare to want her. Many brothel patrons trembled when they saw Lu Huaxian's 100-meter-long sword light. They were all praying for Lin Feng. Ah! Lin Feng screamed miserably. He seemed to have been sent flying by the 100-meter-long sword light. "You're trying to kill your husband?" Someone shouted loudly. "Shut up," Lu Huaxian said coldly. The brothel patrons were so scared that they immediately shut their mouths. They didn't dare to say another word. Lu Huaxian ran out. However, she discovered that Lin Feng was nowhere to be seen. It was obvious that Lin Feng's scream when he was slashed by the sword light was a lie. Thinking of this, Lu Huaxian couldn't help but scream angrily, "Lin Feng, you bastard! I won't let you off. Just you wait." At this moment, Lu Huaxian was truly a tigress. Holy Stone City was very lively at night. It could be said that Holy Stone City was a city that never slept. It's said that a batch of Dark Night stones has appeared in the stone workshop. They can only be taken out and cut at night. Let's go and take a look. A few cultivators were discussing the Dark Night stones. This was the first time Lin Feng had heard of the Dark Night stones. He couldn't help but become interested. He also walked towards the stone workshop. On the way to the stone workshop, they passed by a market square. Every night, this market square would be very lively. This was because many cultivators would come to the market square to set up stalls and sell rare treasures. If one's eyesight was good enough, they would be able to find many good things in the market square. At this moment, in a corner of the market square, the sisters Qiao Tingyu and Qiao Tingyue had set up a stall. There was a sign in front of them. On the sign, it said, "If you want to buy healing panacea, you can use yuan meteor stones to exchange for it." The sisters were very tired. It seemed that they had experienced many things during this period of time. They were both mentally and physically exhausted. Many people were pointing and whispering, because this pair of sisters was really too eye-catching. There were also people who came to talk to them. However, the content of their conversation wasn't about exchanging healing panacea. Instead, they asked dirty questions such as, "How many spirit stones do the sisters need for a night?" "Young master, look, there's a pair of beautiful sisters over there." At that moment, a group of more than 10 people walked over from afar. A young master was surrounded by a group of people. Suddenly, one of the servants pointed at Qiao Tingyu and Qiao Tingyue in the corner of the market square. Seeing that the sisters were so alluring, the young master became even more envious. A lustful gaze immediately appeared in his eyes. Chapter 940. The group of people quickly arrived at Qiao Tingyu and Qiao Tingyu's stall. "How should I address you two beauties?" The young man's name was Tai Tsong Hao, and he narrowed his eyes as he looked at the beautiful sisters. Qiao Tingyu and Qiao Tingyu had seen many playboys like Tai Tsong Hao come to strike up a conversation with them. Qiao Tingyu coldly replied, "If the young master wants to use healing pills to trade with us, then let's just talk about it. If the young master wants to ask about something else, then forgive me for not being able to answer." One of the servants coldly shouted, "Impudent! Do you know who our young master is? Our young master is the young master of the Tai Tsong clan. Talking to you right now is already giving you face, yet you still dare to put on an act in front of our young master?" After hearing the words, Tai Tsong clan, many people's expressions changed. The Tai Tsong clan was a famous power in the Star Province. There were two major powers in the Star Province. One was the Chilean clan, and the other was the Tai Tsong clan. The Chilean clan controlled Holy Stone City, Tiandu City, Qianluo City, and 56 other cities. On the other hand, the Tai Tsong clan controlled Starstone City, Black Ridge City, Eternal Destruction City, and 45 other cities. Although the Tai Tsong clan was slightly weaker than the Chilean clan, it was still a major power in the Star Province. Even the Chilean clan was somewhat afraid of this power. In the Star Province, no one dared to offend the Tai Tsong clan. Clearly, Qiao Tingyu and Qiao Tingyu had also heard of the Tai Tsong clan. However, this was Holy Stone City, not the Tai Tsong clan's territory. Thinking up to there, the sisters calmed down. Tai Tsong Hao enjoyed the envious, jealous, and fearful gazes of the people around him. He looked at Qiao Tingyu and Qiao Tingyu with a smug expression and said, Now you know this young master's identity, right? This young master has taken a liking to the two of you. If you follow this young master in the future, I guarantee that the two of you will enjoy glory, splendor, and wealth. Many people looked at Tai Songhao with disdain. This guy's brain was filled with lust. Did he think he was amazing just because he came from an ancient power? Did he think he could capture the hearts of these two sisters just by revealing his identity? He was too full of himself. Xiao Tingyu coldly said, "Young master, please conduct yourself with dignity." "Oh, what do you mean? Are you rejecting this young master? I've always been someone who cares about women, but since you two sisters don't know what's good for you, I don't mind forcing myself on you." Ha 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 ha. Tai Songhao laughed complacently and waved his hand. The horse-faced servant behind him, who should be his trusted aide, understood his every move. He shouted, "Catch these two girls." Yes. In an instant, over a dozen guards surrounded Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyu. Isn't Tai Songhao being too arrogant? How dare you do such a heartless thing as abducting a civilian girl so brazenly? That's right, arrogant. Too arrogant. This is Holy Stone City, not the territory of the Tai Song family. I really don't know how many atrocities Tai Songhao has committed in the territory of the Tai Song family. The Tai Song family is so powerful that even the Chilean family has to be wary of them. To put it bluntly, do you really think the Chilean family will be unhappy with the Tai Song family over these two girls? It's because of this confidence that Tai Songhao is so fearless, right? The disciples of these large families view human lives as worthless than grass. Is there anything they won't do? Many people began discussing. Everyone knew that it would be difficult for the sisters to escape today. Boom. Tai Songhao had many experts by his side, including 4 Creation Realm experts. These 4 Creation Realm experts weren't Tai Songhao's guards. Instead, they were the Tai Song family's consecrators. However, they had a good relationship with Tai Songhao. Since they had come out with him, they decided to act together and capture the two girls. When the time came, they would discuss it with Tai Songhao and enjoy it together. With Tai Songhao's temperament, he definitely wouldn't refuse. Tai Songhao wasn't a good person. Birds of a feather flocked together. So it was obvious that the people with Tai Songhao weren't good people either. These 4 Creation Realm cultivators were obviously jackals of the same tribe as Tai Songhao. When the 4 thought that they would soon be able to enjoy the beautiful sisters, they were extremely excited. Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue were only at the 3rd or 4th heavenly layer of the Yin-Yang realm. How could they be a match for these cultivators? The two of them took out the ancient bronze hairpin that Lin Feng had given them. The ancient bronze hairpin was activated, protecting the two of them as they resisted the attacks of the group with great difficulty. However, the two of them couldn't maintain the ancient bronze hairpin for long. Soon, they felt that the magic power in their bodies was about to be exhausted. Their faces also turned pale. It looks like the sisters will fall into Tai Songhao's hands. If they really fall into Tai Songhao's hands, they won't have a good ending. Many people shook their heads as they looked at Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue with pity. Some people were filled with righteous indignation and wanted to help Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue. However, when they thought of the terrifying power of the Tai Song clan, they gave up. Whoever offended a giant like the Tai Song clan wouldn't have a good ending. Even if they wanted to save someone, they had to know their own limits, right? Overestimating one's own strength was the same as throwing away one's life. Naturally, no one would throw their lives away. Kacha Kacha, the defensive light barrier created by the ancient bronze hairpin had already begun to shatter. The two sisters' faces became increasingly pale. The magic power in their bodies had already dried up. Little beauties, don't worry. This young master will take good care of you. Tai Songhao let out a lewd laugh. For Creation Realm cultivators, there were also 12 Yin-Yang Realm guards. They condensed into an even more powerful attack and shot forward. Bang! This attack once again landed on the defensive light barrier. Crack! In the next moment, the defensive light barrier shattered. Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue were forced to retreat. Little beauty, just give up and let us capture you. A Creation Realm cultivator leaped out and stretched out his right hand. A monstrous amount of magic power surged out and suppressed Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue. The two sisters' faces were as pale as paper as they retreated in an extremely sorry state. They wanted to fight back. However, the magic power in their bodies was exhausted. How could they still have the ability to fight back? In their eyes, there was only fear and helplessness. Many people shook their heads and sighed. There were many people who wanted to make a move, but no one actually made a move. They didn't dare to offend the Taitsong clan. Right now, they could only feel pity for the tragic fate of the two sisters. Just as the Creation Realm cultivator was about to suppress Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue, suddenly, a sword chi tore through the air and slashed forward. It was like a sword from a flying immortal. Pooh! Accompanied by an incomparably mournful scream. The Creation Realm cultivator's right hand was directly chopped off. Blood immediately gushed out. Whoosh! Everyone looked in the direction where the sword chi came from. A young man in a snow-white robe was walking over. Chapter 941. Someone really dared to make a move? It's a young cultivator. He actually cut off the arm of a Creation Realm cultivator from the Taitsong family. This is a huge grudge. Although killing is forbidden in Holy Stone City, there's no rule against fighting. If the Taitsong family catches that brat, they might even cut off his limbs. When everyone saw that the attacker was actually a young cultivator, they all thought that he had used a sneak attack to cut off the arm of the Taitsong family's consecrator. After all, how strong could such a young cultivator be? On the other hand, the Taitsong family had many experts. Lin Feng. After seeing the attacker, Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue's pale faces revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. You're not injured, right? Lin Feng asked. The two shook their heads. Lin Feng nodded and looked coldly at Taitsong Hao. Brat, you're courting death. You actually dared to injure a member of the Taitsong family. Taitsong Hao's voice was cold. Lin Feng sneered and said, What a good Taitsong family. Even the younger generation of the Chilean family wouldn't commit such crimes in Holy Stone City. A member of the Taitsong family actually ran to the Chilean family's territory and acted so presumptuously. It's really an eye-opener. No wonder the Taitsong family can't compare to the Chilean family. From the younger generation, you can see the difference between the two families. Taitsong Hao's expression became gloomier and gloomier, and his eyes flashed with a terrifying killing intent. He said coldly, Brat, who do you think you are? You dare to mock my Taitsong family? Men, break his limbs. I'll do it. I want to personally crush every single bone in his body into pieces. The face of the Creation Realm cultivator who had his arm cut off by Lin Feng twisted, and his face was filled with killing intent. The cultivator's blood had already stopped flowing, and his strength had greatly decreased because of the loss of his arm. However, he was confident that he could deal with Lin Feng. He was just a Yin-Yang realm brat. Crushing such a cultivator to death, wouldn't that be an easy task? Boom! He slammed his palm towards Lin Feng. An image of mountains and rivers appeared on his palm. This palm was called the Mountain and River Palm Technique, and it was a very famous divine ability. This technique was passed down from the Taitsong family. Obviously, the Taitsong family's consecrators didn't just receive cultivation resources, they could also receive the divine ability inheritance. That's a good move. One palm shaking mountains and rivers shaking heaven and earth. This divine ability has been cultivated to the point where it's as pure as fire. It's really powerful. I'm afraid that kid won't be able to withstand it. That's right. I reckon that one move will beat him half to death. Many people. 2s. They looked at the torrent of attacks from more than 10 experts in horror. I feel that the young cultivator might be stronger than we imagined, some cultivators said. Obviously, they were more optimistic about Lin Feng. All kinds of powerful divine abilities gathered together, forming a giant divine ability dragon that charged towards Lin Feng. Just as the torrent of attacks was about to drown Lin Feng sneered and stepped forward. In the future, if I were the Qing Emperor, I would definitely sweep away all the injustices in the world. Lin Feng's voice was faint, as if it came from the ancient era. His right hand was like a sword, and he slashed out. Dense sword chi shot out. The earth-shattering sword chi was like a storm of swords. In an instant, It swallowed up the torrent of attacks from more than 10 experts. Then, it flooded towards the experts from the Taitsong clan. Pooh, pooh, ripping sounds, miserable screams. One after another, the sounds spread. Sword light and blood shadows. Everyone looked at the center of the battle with shocked gazes. The experts from the Taitsong clan. Even the 3 Creation Realm experts were there. Under Lin Feng's attacks, they didn't even have the ability to fight back. The streaks of sword qi. It tore their bodies apart. Their limbs were chopped off, and they fell to the ground, twitching violently. The thick smell of blood spread out. Many people looked at the bloody scene in front of them and felt their stomachs churn. However, deep in their hearts, they were deeply shocked. Just how strong is he? Many of the surrounding cultivators turned pale with shock as they looked at the handsome young cultivator. Chapter 942. Who are you? Taitsong Hao's expression turned ugly. Lin Feng had crippled so many of his subordinates so easily. How could such a person be simple? Do you think you're qualified to know my name? Do you think you can do whatever you want just because you have some power behind you? Do you think no one can stop you? Kneel and apologize to me. Lin Feng stepped forward, his eyes cold. Brat, I'm the young master of the Taitsong family. You dare to make me kneel? Taitsong Hao said with a gloomy expression. The young master of a direct descendant of an ancient power had a noble status and was high above everyone else. Moreover, Taitsong Hao's strength was extraordinary, so he didn't fear Lin Feng. I told you to kneel? Didn't you hear me? His expression was indifferent and domineering as he stepped forward and slapped his palm toward Taitsong Hao. Impudent brat, do you really think I'm afraid of you? Today, I'll suppress you. Taitsong Hao shouted coldly and used the Imperial Sky Capturing Technique to attack Lin Feng. Taitsong Hao's aura spread out. He was actually at the 5th heavenly layer of the Creation Realm. With the help of an ancient technique, the combat power of someone at this level could even suppress a 6th or 7th heavenly layer of the Creation Realm. As soon as the Imperial Sky Capturing Technique was unleashed, a river of stars appeared beside Taitsong Hao. Countless stars rotated in the starry sky like sand in the Ganges River. Taitsong Hao's outstretched hand could shatter the universe and starry sky. The power of this Imperial Heaven Capturing Technique was truly formidable. What terrifying power! I didn't expect a young master like Taitsong Hao to be so strong. Taitsong Hao is the successor of an ancient faction. Of course, he's strong. I wonder if that young cultivator can block Taitsong Hao's attack. That's an ancient technique. Its power is unimaginable. Many people were discussing animatedly. Now that the battle was about to begin, many people were excited. Today, I'll let you know the difference between you and me. It's like comparing an ant to a dragon. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he slapped at Taitsong Hao. Boom! In the void, a huge energy handprint condensed and formed. It was an energy palm, falling from the sky. Suppress it. Bang! This attack instantly broke Taitsong Hao's primordial ability, the exalted heaven capturing art. Then, he slapped Taitsong Hao's body. Taitsong Hao was slapped to the ground. There was a thump. He knelt on the ground. Lin Feng threw out a restriction. Taitsong Hao's body was bound, unable to struggle. Isn't he too strong? Everyone looked at Lin Feng in disbelief. Taitsong Hao was such a powerful figure. He couldn't even take a single blow from that young cultivator. The young cultivator's cultivation seemed to be far beyond everyone's imagination. Everyone had underestimated the young cultivator's cultivation. Ah! Taitsong Hao roared like a wild beast. His eyes turned blood red. He was Taitsong Hao, a descendant of an ancient power. High and mighty. When had he ever been humiliated like this? Taitsong Hao roared, brat. You dare to humiliate me like this? You're courting death. You're courting death. Pooh. In the next moment, a ripping sound could be heard. Blood splattered. Taitsong Hao's left arm was directly cut off. Taitsong Hao let out a shrill scream. Heavens, he even dared to cut off the arm of a descendant of an ancient power. How audacious. Many people cried out in alarm. Originally, everyone thought that Lin Feng would at most humiliate Taitsong Hao. He wouldn't do anything too outrageous to Tai Song Hao. After all, the power behind Tai Song Hao was too great. However, no one thought that Lin Feng would really dare to cut off Tai Song Hao's arm. You actually dared to cut off my arm. My Tai Song family will not rest until you die. Tai Song Hao roared with hatred. Pooh. Lin Feng didn't say anything. His response was simple. Tai Song Hao's second arm had been cut off by Lin Feng. Both arms have been cut off. That young cultivator can't be thinking of cutting off all four of Tai Song Hao's limbs, right? Many people roared out in shock. This was because the other members of the Tai Song family had all had their limbs cut off by Lin Feng. Now, both of Tai Song Hao's arms had been cut off. From the looks of it, Lin Feng seemed to really want to cut off all four of Tai Song Hao's limbs. Spare me. Spare me. I know I was wrong. Please spare me. After losing both of his arms, Tai Song Hao was completely scared out of his wits. His previous arrogance had completely disappeared. Now, it was replaced by deep fear. He really regretted it. Why did he provoke this killing god? He shouldn't have come to Holy Stone City. Even if he did, he should have kept his arrogance and despotism. After all, this wasn't the territory of the Tai Song family. But now, no matter how much he regretted it, it was already too late. In this world, there was no medicine for regret. Pooh. Pooh. Another 2 rays of sword energy slashed out consecutively. Tai Song Hao's 2 legs were also cut off. From the beginning to the end, Lin Feng didn't even say a word. However, his actions let everyone know just how daring he was. Tai Song Hao? The successor of an ancient power? So what if I cut off your limbs? Many cultivators rushed over from all directions because the commotion here was too great. That's Tai Song Hao, right? He's a direct descendant of the Tai Song family. Who did it? I don't know, but isn't that person too daring? He actually dared to cut off Tai Song Hao's limbs. Now, there's an irreconcilable hatred between him and the Tai Song family. This Tai Song Hao is too arrogant. He kicked an iron plate and got his limbs cut off. He deserves it. Many people were discussing. Tai Song Hao fell to the ground. His whole body twitched. His eyes were filled with despair as he looked at the starry sky. He had actually become a cripple, even if he was a direct descendant of an ancient family. However, once he became a cripple, he would be abandoned by his family. As he thought about it, endless fear spread in his heart. Not good. It's Tai Song Hao. More than 10 people rushed over from the crowd, and when they saw Tai Song Hao on the ground, their expressions changed. They were all experts of the Tai Song family. Brat, you dare to cripple someone of my family? You're courting death. The experts of the Tai Song family rushed out and roared, their killing intent overflowing. The leading middle-aged cultivator looked at Lin Feng with a gloomy gaze and said coldly, Sir, why did you cut off Tai Song Hao's limbs? If you don't give the Tai Song family a reason, no one will be able to save you. Lin Feng stood with his hands behind his back, looking like he could swallow mountains and rivers. I killed him based on my mood. Why would I need a reason? Chapter 943. He's actually so domineering in the face of an expert from the Tai Song family. Many people were shocked. The Tai Song clan was an ancient, influential group. Lin Feng didn't fear the Tai Song clan at all. Many people felt deep admiration for Lin Feng. Kid, those who offend the Tai Song family will not have a good ending, and you are no exception. The middle-aged man's aura rose bit by bit. He was accumulating his strength. Let's go together and suppress this kid. The other members of the Tai Song family shouted. They wanted to deal with Lin Feng together. The middle-aged cultivator who attacked said, You are not strong enough to participate in this battle. Step back. The other members of the Tai Song family did not want to admit this. However, it was the truth, so they could only retreat. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes as he looked at the middle-aged man. The man's aura was extremely terrifying, and his cultivation was comparable to an ancestor. Great Sun Thunder Dragon Palm. The middle-aged man used a peerless divine ability. A sun slowly condensed in the sky. Then, the divine sun descended. The divine sun was surrounded by dense lightning energy. The lightning energy condensed into lightning dragons that were baring their fangs and brandishing their claws as they revolved around the sun. The sun and the lightning dragons pressed down together. They wanted to suppress Lin Feng on the spot. That's the Great Sun Thunder Dragon Palm, one of the 3 great divine abilities of the Taitsong family. That middle-aged man seems to be Taitsong Yuntao, right? It's rumored that his cultivation is comparable to an ancestor. It seems that the rumors are true. I wonder if that young man can withstand Taitsong Yuntao's attack? That young man isn't simple. Although I don't know who he is, he's clearly a monster. I think that this will be a fierce battle. Many of the cultivators in the crowd began to discuss, what a great Sun Thunder Dragon Palm. That person's strength should be on the same level as Guotianming. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. Taitsong Yuntao was extremely tyrannical, and his cultivation was unfathomable. However, he wasn't afraid at all. Lin Feng directly used the Great Death Art, summoning the River of Death. Rumble. A loud explosion shook the heavens. In the void, a river of death traversed through the void, directly smashing towards Taitsong Yuntao. Back then, Lin Feng was able to suppress Guotianming with the Great Death Art. Now, he was able to suppress Taitsong Yuntao. Of course, Guotianming didn't use a technique as powerful as the primordial combat ability back then. Therefore, he was easier to deal with. On the other hand, Guotianming would be much more difficult to deal with because he had used a primordial divine ability. When the River of Death came crashing down, Taitsong Yuntao sent out palm after palm towards the River of Death. Bang, bang, bang. A loud explosion shook the heavens. Every time the 2 sides collided, the void trembled. This primordial divine ability was indeed powerful. If Taitsong Yuntao had not used this primordial spirit ability, Lin Feng would have long suppressed Taitsong Yuntao with this Great Death technique. As for Taitsong Yuntao, who had used his primordial divine ability, he had clashed with Lin Feng's River of Death 36 times. Finally, after the 37th collision, Taitsong Yuntao's attack was broken by Lin Feng. The River of Death swept across Taitsong Yuntao's body, sending him flying over 100 meters away. Taitsong Yuntao has been repelled. Many people were shocked. Lin Feng was so young, yet he was able to suppress an expert like Taitsong Yuntao. It was truly unimaginable. How is this possible? The people from the Taitsong family found it hard to accept what they were seeing. They knew how strong Taitsong Yuntao was. However, such a tyrannical strength had actually been suppressed by a young cultivator. It was too unimaginable. Gentlemen, let's end today's matter here. If we continue fighting, Holy Stone City will be in chaos. At this moment, a sonorous and powerful voice came from afar. An old man walked over. It was Qilian Gu from the Qilian family. Qilian Gu wasn't just the Qilian family's grand elder, he was also the city lord of Holy Stone City. The conflict between Lin Feng and the Taitsong family had long alarmed everyone in Holy Stone City. Many people came to watch the battle, and the surrounding area was so crowded that not even a drop of water could trickle through. Naturally, the people from the Qilian family were also alarmed. Qilian Gu had originally come to stop the battle. After all, although Holy Stone City allowed private fights, it was only a small-scale private fight. If the top experts really fought to the death, the destructive power would be extremely terrifying. This was something that the Qilian family couldn't tolerate. However, Qilian Gu didn't expect that the 2 parties involved would be Lin Feng and the Taitsong family. Taitsong Yuntao's expression was incomparably gloomy. He had suffered a small loss in his fight with Lin Feng, so he knew that it was unrealistic to think that he could defeat Lin Feng by himself. Now that Qilian Gu had appeared, it gave him a way out. All right, I'll give Brother Qilian some face today. Taitsong Yuntao cupped his fists. Immediately after, he looked at Lin Feng in an ice-cold way. His voice was filled with killing intent. Little boy, I'll remember you. Taitsong Yuntao didn't restrain his killing intent at all. It was obvious that the Taitsong family would definitely send experts to deal with Lin Feng later. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. If you want to die, I don't mind killing a few more souls. Taitsong Yuntao's expression was gloomy, but he didn't say anything else. He ordered people to take the injured Tai, Song Hao and the others away. The group of people from the Tidesong family quickly left. Fellow Lin, are you injured? Chilean Gu cupped his fists and asked. Although his face was expressionless, he was actually quite happy in his heart. The Tidesong family and their Chilean family had always been fighting openly and secretly. Seeing Lin Feng and the Tidesong family fighting so fiercely, Chilean Gu was naturally happy to see this situation. It's nothing serious. Thank you for your concern, fellow Chilean. Lin Feng also cupped his fists. The two of them exchanged a few pleasantries. Lin Feng and Chilean Gu parted ways. He left with Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue. The two sisters still couldn't believe what they'd just seen. Lin Feng actually had the strength to suppress an expert like Tidesong Yuan Tao. Wasn't he too strong? Lin Feng asked, why do you want to buy healing panaceas? Could it be that something has happened? Brother and the others are injured. Their injuries are very serious, and they urgently need life-saving panaceas. Shouting, you said. Lin Feng said, don't worry. Bring me over to take a look. Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue hurriedly nodded. With Lin Feng by their side, they seemed to have found a pillar of support. Lin Feng was led by Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue to a courtyard. Xiao Jinyu, Wang Fei, Zhao Kuo, Tian Kuan, Li Shishir, and Nalan Bing were arranged in different rooms by the sisters. Chapter 944. Lin Gongzi, can my brother and the others still be saved? Xiao Tingyue's face was pale, and she was extremely worried about the safety of Xiao Jinyu and the others. Lin Feng replied, don't worry, I have a way to save them. Now, find me a room. I'm going to refine a batch of healing pills. Sir, please come with me. Xiao Tingyue said. She led the way and brought Lin Feng to the room next door. She then left. Alchemists usually needed to be quiet when refining pills, and Xiao Tingyue naturally knew this. Lin Feng took out a 15,000-year-old spiritual medicine as the main ingredient. There were 372 supplementary spirit herbs. He was going to refine the Heaven Reversal Pill. This was a mid-tier Heaven-tier spirit herb, and it had the ability to bring someone back from the dead. On the second day, Lin Feng finally finished concocting the pill. After Lin Feng came out of seclusion, he had Xiao Tingyue and Xiao Tingyu feed the pills to Xiao Jinyu, Wang Fei, Zhao Kuo, Tian Kuan, Li Shishir, and Nalan Bing. The sisters nodded and hurriedly fed the pills to the six of them. After taking the pills, the aura of the six people became stable. Their originally pale faces also began to gradually recover their rosy complexions. When Lin Feng saw the six people's changes, he checked their bodies and took a deep breath. He turned to look at Xiao Tingyu and Xiao Tingyue and said, their bodies are fine now, so you don't have to worry too much. Thank you, Lin Gongzi. The sisters bowed to Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled and said, you're treating me like an outsider. The sisters blushed slightly, and Xiao Tingyu said, Lin Gongzi, you must be tired after a day. Go to the room next door and rest. I'll call you when my brother and the others wake up. Lin Feng nodded. Refining the Heaven Reversal Pill did consume a lot of energy. Lin Feng really needed to have a good rest and recover. While Lin Feng was resting, the Chilean family was holding a small auction. Those who could participate were either patriarch-level cultivators or the upper echelons of large clans. Only 3 slots would be auctioned at a time. Back then, many ancestor-level experts had seen Lin Feng choose stones, so they had absolutely no doubts about Lin Feng's ability. There were also many ancestor-level powerhouses who came because of its reputation and wanted to observe for a while. For the first time, 9, 12, and 15 nomological laws were auctioned off. The person who won the 3 spots was Duanmu Shui from the number 1 power in Yuezhou, the Duanmu clan. Duanmu Shui was the daughter of the Duanmu clan's ancestor, Duanmu Chong. Back in Wangxian town, Lin Feng had helped Duan Muchong choose a stone, and Duan Muchong had cut out the soaring dragon fruit from the stone that Lin Feng had chosen. Right now, Duan Muchong was cultivating in seclusion, preparing to break through to the ancient powerhouse level. Before he went into seclusion, he instructed his daughter to come and ask Lin Feng to help him again no matter what price he had to pay. The second slot was won by Stone King Xian Yuanlong. Stone King Xian Yuanlong could be said to be a famous master of stone selection. He had heard a lot about Lin Feng. Now that he had won the slot, He wanted to compare notes with Lin Feng and see if Lin Feng was really capable or not. The third slot was won by someone from the Sima clan in Suzhou. The Sima clan's ancestor had seen Lin Feng cut out a stone before. Therefore, he was extremely confident in Lin Feng. Everyone, tomorrow, fellow Taoist Lin will select the stones for everyone. Please wait for a moment. Please wait a moment, said Qilian Sun. Duamu Shui, Xin Yuanlong, and Sima Hua nodded and said, Okay, we'll meet at the stone workshop tomorrow. Then, the powerhouses all left. Everyone was talking about Lin Feng's stone selection the next day. Everyone was looking forward to the results. They wanted to see if Lin Feng was really as amazing as the legend said. In the afternoon, Xiao Jinyu and the others, who had been sleeping, finally woke up. When they found out that Lin Feng had saved them, they were extremely grateful. Lin Feng told them to rest in their rooms while he chatted with Xiao Jinyu, who had recovered the best. Lin Feng wanted to know how Xiao Jinyu and the others had been injured. It's all thanks to Brother Lin that we were able to survive this time. I won't say any more polite words. If you need me in the future, climb a mountain of blades or dive into a sea of fire. I won't even frown. Xiao Jinyu patted his chest as he spoke. He had just walked through the gates of hell. Now that they had come back to life, they were extremely happy. They were grateful to Lin Feng from the bottom of their hearts. Lin Feng smiled and said, We're friends, so it's only right that we help each other. After pausing for a moment, Lin Feng asked, What did you go through? How did you end up with such heavy injuries? Xiao Jinyu said, When we came out of the falling star mountain range, we saw a mysterious thing falling from the sky. We quickly went to look for it. Later, we found a very strange stone, but that thing also attracted some other cultivators. After a life and death battle, we finally escaped with great difficulty, but we didn't expect that we would be chased by an extremely terrifying beast emperor. In the end, we escaped with our lives, but when we escaped to the Holy Stone City, our bodies couldn't take it anymore. I don't remember what happened after that until Brother Lin saved us. Lin Feng asked, Is the stone that fell from the sky still there? Yes. Xiao Jinyu took the stone out of his storage ring. It was a fiery red meteorite. There were scales on it, and its shape was uneven. It was Lin Feng's first time seeing such a meteorite. It was indeed a rather strange meteorite, and he didn't know where it came from. The meteorite was extremely heavy. Although it was only about 10 centimeters in diameter, it weighed tens of thousands of kilograms. Brother Lin, can you tell what it is? Xiao Jinyu asked. Lin Feng said, From its appearance, I can't tell what's so special about it, so I need to cut it open to take a look. However, it's almost impossible to cut open such a meteorite. The only way is to melt it, and once it's melted, the meteorite will be destroyed. That's too bad, Xiao Jinyu said. Brother Xiao, I have a suggestion. What do you think? Lin Feng said. Brother Lin, please speak. Xiao Jinyu said. Lin Feng then said, This meteorite was obtained by risking your lives. It wasn't easy, but there's only one meteorite, so it's not easy to divide it. I plan to buy it for 800,000 top-grade spirit stones, and each of you will get 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. What do you think? Xiao Jinyu said, Brother Lin is our savior. How can we accept Lin Feng's spirit stones? This meteorite will be given to Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled and said, Brother Xiao, please don't say that. We're friends, so it's natural for us to help each other. This crystal card has 800,000 top-grade spirit stones. Brother Xiao, please accept it. Xiao Jinyu saw that Lin Feng was insistent, so he accepted the crystal card. Lin Feng then left. After returning to the Qilian clan, Lin Feng began to melt the meteorite. He used 2 types of heavenly flames to burn it repeatedly, and finally, the meteorite was melted. What surprised Lin Feng was that there was a stone talisman wrapped in the meteorite. This stone talisman was not simple. Even the heavenly flames could not melt it. Lin Feng took out the stone talisman, and a shocked expression appeared on his face. It was actually a martial talisman, a fiery red martial talisman. Could it be the fire demon talisman? Chapter 945. A fiery red talisman. Could it be a fire demon talisman? Lin Feng looked at the talisman in surprise. There were 81 talismans in the world. Each talisman could make a martial spirit evolve. Lin Feng had collected a bluestone talisman before. With the bluestone talisman, his martial spirit evolved again. It went from 3 devouring martial spirits to 5 devouring martial spirits. After the talisman's energy was devoured, it would split open again. Then it would scatter in the human world. After a long time, it would gradually recover its energy. When it had accumulated enough energy, it would appear again. Now that the fire demon talisman had appeared, it had accumulated enough energy. It should be one of the 3 fire demon talismans. That was because the talismans were divided into 3 parts and scattered in different places. Is this a map of the starry sky world? Lin Feng looked at the back of the talisman. There was a starry sky on the back of the map. The starry sky was dotted with stars. Lin Feng had never been to the starry sky world, so he didn't know where the starry sky was on the map. Lin Feng had no choice but to put the map away for now. He would study it in the starry sky world in the future. In the evening, Lin Feng met up with Qilian Sun and the others. He had already obtained the first batch of 34 Dharma laws from Qilian Sun. Dharma laws were precious, especially in the outside world. It was very difficult to seal them. Lin Feng hoped to take advantage of this event to obtain more Dharma laws. Every time he obtained a Dharma law, his cultivation level would increase greatly. With Qilian Sun and the others accompanying him, Lin Feng went to the stone workshop. The news that Little Stone Saint was going to the stone workshop had already spread. Countless people were rushing to the workshop, including the high-ranking members of many top factions. 9 flood dragons pulled a carriage. Lin Feng and Qilian Sun got off the bronze carriage. Look, that's Little Stone Saint. Little Stone Saint is really young and promising. Don't ask about a hero's age. That's really suitable for Little Stone Saint. I wonder if he's really as strong as the legends say. Or is it just a rumor? Today, we'll know if Little Stone Saint is really strong or not. Many cultivators discussed among themselves, isn't that Lin Feng? Heavens, Lin Feng is the legendary Little Stone Saint? Wang Chaozong, Yuan Hua, and the others were also in the crowd. When they saw Lin Feng, they immediately exclaimed. They did not expect Lin Feng to be the Little Stone Saint. However, thinking about how Lin Feng had chosen 3 pieces of stone for Wang Chaozong and cut them into 3 supreme treasures, this method of stone selection was truly miraculous. Therefore, although it seemed unexpected that Lin Feng was the Little Stone Saint, it was also within reason. Others might suspect that Lin Feng's reputation was undeserved. However, Wang Chaozong, Yuan Hua, and the others would never doubt him, because they had already seen Lin Feng's methods. Qilian Sun introduced Duanmu Shi, Xian Yuanlong, and Sima Hua to Lin Feng, and both sides greeted each other. Xian Yuanlong said, I've been friends with Daoist Lin for a long time. Meeting you today is indeed like meeting a god. Lin Feng said, Daoist Xian Yuanlong is too polite. I'm still very young and still have many things to learn from you. I hope that we can interact more in the future and improve each other. Seeing that Lin Feng was giving him face, Xian Yuanlong couldn't help but be very happy. He laughed and said, Daoist Lin, you're in such a good mood. After today's stone selection, why don't we have a chat? Of course, I can't ask for more, Lin Feng said. After exchanging some pleasantries, everyone walked towards the stone workshop. Qilian Sun asked, which workshop does little Lin want to go to? The Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's workshop. Lin Feng said. Huangfu Qingqiang and the others from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty were also in the workshop. They already knew that Lin Feng was the Little Stone Saint. When they saw Lin Feng leading a group of people over, they couldn't help but gnash their teeth in anger. Huangfu Qingqiang and the others had just learned that Lin Feng had entered the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's workshop and obtained 3 precious treasures. Now that he had come to the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's workshop again, the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty naturally didn't welcome him. However, the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty naturally couldn't chase away Lin Feng and the others since they were doing business here. The people around Lin Feng were too powerful. If they dared to chase them away, how many people would they offend? Fellow Taoists, what price do you wish to choose? Lin Feng asked. I remember that there are 3 immortal spirit stones in the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's workshop. I can't see through them, so I didn't dare to buy them. Daoist Lin, Can you help me choose one of them? Xin Yuanlong was the first to speak. Of course, no problem. Lin Feng nodded. Then, they walked into the depths of the courtyard. The stones here were very expensive. They were all worth more than 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. The price of the 3 immortal spirit stones was even higher. The first immortal spirit stone was like a spirit ape gazing at the sea. The second immortal spirit stone was like a fairy dancing. And the third immortal spirit stone was like a shepherd boy riding a bull. Every immortal spirit stone wasn't simple. Black smoke emerged and surrounded Lin Feng. He walked towards the 3 celestial spiritual stones. Xin Yuanlong observed Lin Feng's movements. He wasn't too surprised. There were different branches of the stone discernment technique. Lin Feng clearly didn't want to reveal some of his techniques in front of others. This situation was very normal because when Xin Yuanlong used some of his trump cards, he would also hide his body. The 3 immortal spirit stones were extremely extraordinary. Each immortal spirit stone seemed to be nurturing a life. The 3 immortal spirit stones were all worth more than 2 million top-grade spirit stones. It could be said that the price was sky-high. There's such a strong aura of life, but I can vaguely sense that something isn't quite right. Between heaven and earth, all living things reinforce and counteract each other. Yin and yang are opposites. Extreme life becomes extreme death, and within extreme death, there's still a sliver of life. The 3 immortal spirit stones are gathered together, and each of them is as exuberant as the sea. Could it be that in this invisible confrontation, the life force of the 3 immortal spirit stones has been consumed? If that's the case, then the 3 immortal spirit stones are useless stones. Lin Feng frowned slightly. Suddenly, he looked at the surroundings of the 3 immortal spirit stones. Because the life force of the 3 immortal spirit stones was too vigorous, it produced a terrifying pressure. The surrounding stones couldn't get close to the 3 immortal spirit stones. Therefore, there were no stones around the 3 immortal spirit stones. However, what surprised Lin Feng was that under the 3 immortal spirit stones, there was a huge stone platform that was more than 10 meters long. This huge stone platform seemed to be an ordinary stone platform. However, Lin Feng felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what was wrong. Therefore, Lin Feng used the Archean Dragonesque Elephant skill to carefully sense the aura of the stone platform. This gave Lin Feng a fright. Traces of energy from the 3 immortal spirit stones flowed into the black stone platform. Even an ancient powerhouse cultivator wouldn't be able to sense it. Lin Feng took a deep breath and dispersed the black fog around him. His eyes revealed a thoughtful look. Xin Yuanlong couldn't wait to ask, "Brother Lin, do you have any results?" Chapter 946. Lin Feng looked at Xin Yuanlong and asked with a smile, "Brother Xin Yuanlong, what do you think of these 3 stones?" Xin Yuanlong replied, "These 3 stones are full of vitality. I've never seen a stone with such vitality before. I can feel that each stone has something good inside, but I can also vaguely feel that something isn't right. However, I can't tell what it is." Sensing the vitality within the stones. This required an extremely powerful ability. Lin Feng could sense the vitality within the stones because of the heavenly demon snake's eye. Sometimes, he would also use the archaic dragonesque elephant technique to complement the heavenly demon snake's eye. As for Xin Yuanlong, he had clearly grasped some extremely powerful techniques to be able to sense the vitality within the stones. Lin Feng nodded and said, "That's right. There's indeed something wrong with these 3 stones. Kid, don't make irresponsible remarks. The stones placed here by the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty are the best of the best. How could there be a problem?" An elder from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's stone workshop said coldly. Lin Feng shrugged and said, "I once cut a very precious stone. I thought that I would find something good inside, but I didn't find anything. Senior Qilian, do you remember?" Qilian nodded and said, "Of course I remember. At that time, you were helping me cut a stone. There was dragon blood inside, but the dragon blood dried up, causing the stone to become useless." Lin Feng said, "That's why, no matter how precious a stone is, there might be nothing inside. Even if there is something inside, There might be all kinds of unforeseen events that could cause the stone to be destroyed. The faces of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's people darkened. After hearing Lin Feng's words, the cultivators who wanted to buy 3 celestial spiritual stones would probably give up now. Lin Feng didn't care about the expressions of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty's people. He didn't care whether they hated him or not. He was already an enemy of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. The more depressed his enemies were, the more depressed they became. Lin Feng felt even better. Xin Yuanlong said, "Brother Lin, are you saying that you want to choose another stone?" Lin Feng chuckled. He kicked the stone platform beneath the 3 immortal spirit stones and asked, "How much is this stone platform?" 1,000 top-grade spirit stones, said the elder of the Yuhua Celestial Dynasty. He looked glum and said, "This is a stone shop. We sell stones, not stone tables. If you want stone tables, you can go to the market. We have everything you need." "Who says it's not stone?" The elder said that this stone is worth 1,000 top-quality spirit stones. "Brother Xinyuan, you can choose this stone," Lin Feng said. This, Xin Yuanlong suddenly became bewildered. This was because he really didn't see anything special on this stone platform. The rest of the people were also muttering, not understanding why Lin Feng would buy such a stone platform. There were quite a few stone platforms that were identical to this one in the courtyard. Xin Yuanlong thought for a moment, then nodded and said, "All right, I'll choose this one." The elder of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty sneered and said, "Do you really think that you can find a precious treasure in a stone platform? Since you want to give money to the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty will be happy to see it." The elder ordered someone to move the 3 immortal spirit stones away. Then, a huge stone platform appeared in front of everyone. "You can cut the stone now," said Lin Feng. Xin Yuanlong nodded. He took out a stone-cutting knife and started cutting the stone. The stone platform kept shrinking. It quickly shrank from 12 meters to 3 or 4 meters, but still, nothing was cut. Many people started whispering to each other about whether the little stone saint deserved his reputation. Xin Yuanlong was very calm. It was only 1,000 top-grade spirit stones. Even if he lost them, he wouldn't feel any pain. The stone platform kept shrinking. When it was only 12 centimeters away, Xin Yuanlong cut again. As soon as he cut, a strong life force spread out. Everyone's spirits were lifted. It seemed like something good was about to be cut out. Xin Yuanlong's eyes suddenly lit up. He carefully cut the last piece of stone. After that, a palm-sized piece of emerald green wood appeared in front of everyone. That piece of wood was emitting a strong life force. It even gave people a strange feeling. As long as they cultivated next to it, their lifespan would continuously increase. "The trunk of the tree of life," exclaimed Qi Lian Sun. Before, Lin Feng had helped him cut out a drop of life elixir. That drop of life elixir was condensed from the tree of life. But obviously, the value of a drop of life elixir couldn't be compared to the value of a tree of life. Heavens! He can even cut out something like that? The tree of life was extinct a long time ago, but it still has a trunk in the world? Such a strong life force. Could it be that it can be nurtured into a seedling? Xin Yuanlong is really rich. The little stone saint is too strong. He's a saint. Now I know why Qilian Sun and the others admire him so much. Many people were discussing spiritedly. They all looked at Xin Yuanlong enviously. They all looked at Lin Feng with admiration. "Brother Lin, you're a genius." Xin Yuanlong cupped his fists. He really admired Lin Feng now. He didn't see anything special about the stone table, but Lin Feng didn't just see it. Now, he had cut out a piece of the tree of life. The people of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty looked gloomy. They gnashed their teeth in anger. The tree of life's trunk was only sold for 1,000 top-grade spirit stones. How could they not be depressed? Duanmu Sun and Sima Hua were also excited. They had already seen how amazing Lin Feng was. Next, Lin Feng would cut out the stones for them. Naturally, they were very excited. They prayed that they would also be able to obtain a precious treasure like Xin Yuanlong. "Which fellow Taoist should I choose a stone for next?" asked Lin Feng. "Let's choose a stone for fellow Taoist Duanmu." Sima Hua smiled. "Thank you, fellow Taoist Sima." Duanmu Sun bowed slightly. Lin Feng nodded, and walked around the stone table. The Yuhua Immortal Dynasty stone table was the best stone table. There were 36 courtyards, and all kinds of stones were piled up. There were at least a few 100,000 of them. Therefore, there were many good things here. As for whether or not one could obtain something good, it depended on one's own ability. Everyone looked at Lin Feng. They were all curious about which stone Lin Feng would choose. In the end, Lin Feng stopped beside a pond. There was a fake mountain in the middle of the pond. This was the wishing pond. Many people would come here to make a wish, praying that they would obtain something good. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.